All right, guys, welcome to ClevelandMoto episode number 562. Light 'em up, boys, or tinkle your cocktails full of fancy Isle of Man gin, which is what I'm running, gin and tonic from our tour. To my immediate left, we have
Oscar,
and to his left,
Steve Sleepy,
and to his left,
Marshall,
and coming around the other side of the room,
Jim,
and
Matt,
and then to my right,
Dan Krupke,
and your humble narrator, Phil Waters. Here we are, 2026. At our ClevelandMoto did it. We actually made it all the way to the damn Isle of Man.
holy crap!
It just seems like it was one of those things that Marshall said. I know a couple of years we talked about it. And we were like, oh, should we do it in 25? Should we do it in 26? Should we do it's 27? And it came down, and because Oscar and I had already done the TT in 19. And when did you guys do it?
23.
In 23, right?
Yeah, Luke, my dad, myself, and my brother.
And so here we are. We're back in 26. So we're adding, we're adding Dan and we're adding Matt and Sleepy, who've never been. So that's great. So 3 people have never done it before. And then we've got to experience the difference between doing the TT when there's 53,000 people here, right? And now, which everybody's saying is like, oh yeah, it was like the least attended, the least ferocious of that anyone can remember.
Which was perfect for us.
Well, it certainly was, because damn did it level the playing field when it came to getting a good sight line at any of the 93 places we saw the race from.
Every time you guys, because obviously I didn't know anything. I'm following you guys around and you're telling me what's what. And every time we got to a place, you'd be like, well, we could only get about 100 feet away from here now. But today, we're going to get right up to the track.
Amazing.
Yeah. It was
And
unbelievable.
it really is.
Yeah.
Every spot we went, we were just like, oh man, I hope we can get up to that good. And yes, there's the good spot. And yes, we're right in it. So it really did. It was amazing because it was so sparsely parsley's populated. Yes. Yeah, that's it.
I haven't had any parsley.
No, I haven't had any parsley since shut up. Haven't had a fucking vegetable yet.
No.
So as you can tell by the cursive that we are drinking. We've parked the pathetic rental cars and we've decided to start the evening's libations.
What was that rental car that you rented, Phil?
The Kia Placenta.
Thank you.
Yeah, we have a periwinkle placenta, and it has grown near and dear to us. It's a strange car, though.
Yeah. 19 horsepower.
It does not have air conditioning, and only the front windows are powered.
Right.
The back windows have cranks. It's the dumbest damn thing, and it does not have the things you'd expect to have in a car.
Oh, you've got cranks. Ours just pop out.
Mine has nav and air conditioning, but you can't open the rear windows.
Right. Yeah. Yours have just the little pop out vents, right?
Like the very far back ones from the Dodge Caravans when we were all kids.
Oh yeah.
So you don't have air conditioning either.
No. I actually have no idea.
Yeah.
Right. We don't have the backup camera. We don't have any sort of collision avoidance. We don't have anything that beeps that tells you when you're about to make an insurance claim. We have none of the things that you'd ever need in a modern car or come to expect in a modern car. But what we have, I think, is the spiritual analog of the 1987 blue Fiat Panda.
Yeah.
Which was always my personal choice when renting a car is just to have the shittiest car that we can have.
I did witness you asking if you could rent one of those.
Yeah, I did. When we got to the kiosk at the airport, which the Manx airport is sort of like, there used to be a TV show called Wings. Yeah. And the airport was rather intimate and low rent. And that was the Manx airport. It was just kind of like, the airplane's landed now. We'd like it if you'd all get off, and please try to stay off the runway if you don't mind. Yeah. Right? Other planes will be landing today. Yeah, and they did funnel us through. And one room airport. Customs was it was
a sign.
There was literally a sign.
If you think you need a customs officer, knock on that door.
Knock on that door, and a customs officer will be here to help you to declare things that you are curious about, or you're not sure if they should be allowed on the island.
Right.
Right. This is very much a.
Did they check your passports?
Oh no! This is an honor box kind of an airport.
They did getting on the plane though, so it'd be really hard pressed to get some kind of illegal thing in the air.
They left all the rule keeping to the people in Dublin.
But technically we went from the EU.
Yes,
to
absolutely.
the UK.
Exactly.
So because the last time we came, we flew from Manchester. And when you fly from Manchester, you're already in the UK.
You're in the UK.
So there's no passport check required to go
all.
between there and here.
Right.
Theoretically, we did cross the border.
Of course. Yeah, but I think the Manx government is like, but it's good enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Ireland let you in? We're okay with that. That's fine. Their standards will play here. This is an interesting place. This is very much a very everybody here has been outrageously pleasant.
Unbelievably.
Super charming.
Amazing. And if you're into like accents, the accent is unbelievable.
It is.
Understandable though too.
Yeah, it is. It's very
Yeah.
It is. It is nice. I've had to speak more German here than I normally do because many of the tourists that we're encountering are Germans and they love the Manx TT. They really do. They're really the 75-year-old guy that I talked to the other day has been here 51 times.
Oh man, I've seen people from Holland, the Czech Republic. I mean, everywhere. I've seen. I mean, all kinds of people. It's wow.
Yeah, it's really really interesting. And what we're we haven't talked about the racing it or anything of that. We're just kind of talking about the sort of the experience and being around. It is also very cool to see. I have not seen a paper wrapper, a cigarette butt,
Beer can, nothing.
a chewed up piece of gum, nothing on the sidewalk.
The level of respect toward the island by the residents and everybody visiting here, which obviously we would have done that anyways.
Correct.
But even if you're a person that generally isn't, nice,
Yeah.
like everybody else is doing it, so you will stand out like a piece of shit.
We were in front
More so
of
than usual.
the bus terminal. Now I don't know if you're aware of, maybe our listeners don't know about being at the bus terminal. We may have a more affluent crowd, but usually where we are, if you're at the bus terminal, that's sort of the lowest common denominator of travel, right?
100%.
That's the Greyhound bus terminal is not where the hoi polloi come to congregate and show off their wares.
You wouldn't eat off the seats at the Greyhound.
Correct.
You
but
wouldn't usually sit on them.
we were standing.
Your pants.
Yeah, we were standing in front of the bus terminal, and I was looking down, and there was not one spot of chewed gum. Nobody spat their gum out. There wasn't a cigarette butt. There was nothing. But I also didn't see, like, if you're in Germany, you see the broom men, the dust men coming out with the brooms and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So I was thinking, I believe people just put their crap in their pocket and find a trash can. Did anyone else?
So,
go ahead.
I was going to say.
Yeah.
I saw this, and I hadn't thought about this, but the Isle of Man was declared the first UNESCO what do they call it? It's a UNESCO Biosphere Reserve.
Exactly.
The whole island.
The whole island. Yeah.
In 2016.
Yeah.
And so, like, there's something about, that's all the landscapes, all the land,
the wallabies,
all of it.
Yeah, the wallabies, the Manx cats, that really tall blonde lady we saw today coming out of Tesco.
but they take it pretty seriously.
Yeah,
no, you do. You can tell when we were driving around, just like, so besides all the motorcycle and racing and stuff like that, just the island itself is worthwhile coming to. And one of the things we talked about when we were riding around toward the coast is there's all this beautiful coastal land that in any other place would be sucked up by giant mega mansions and all this, and there is nothing but sheep.
Right. It would be nonstop golf courses, and it would be nonstop, like, Newport Village estates.
Yes, 100%.
Right. And any ounce of usable shoreline would be a Hilton, a Hampton, and a Marriott.
Yep.
And that is exactly not the case here in Douglas. Sort of the capital, ground zero of where things happen, where the ferries land. There's not a row of hotels clogging up the scenery when you walk down the promenade, and then clip clop, clip clop, clip clop, clip clop. You have to be careful not to be run over by the completely ecologically friendly 1 Clydesdale horse-powered tram, which is still functioning, and your bus pass gets you on and off that thing. Well, that's pretty cool. Yeah. We've been on every form of transportation. We've been on an electric train that took us up a very steep grade, that took us up to a really beautiful mountain. We have, like, this place not just has the means to do it, but the people actually do use it. It's not like there's a quaint touristy thing that nobody actually uses. No, there's people that use that. Clearly, every single day we've been on it, as we were going up to the Laxey Wheel, the people that were getting on and off of this adorable little electric tram, well, the tram was built what year? Who looked at the tag?
The tram cars were like 1890?
1891.
1891.
And it was definitely 130 or whatever.
130-year-old vehicle that we were in, and the windows worked.
Yeah.
The lights worked.
The screws were still original.
Freshly painted. The brass was polished.
All varnished.
Right?
Yeah, it was gorgeous.
It was beautiful.
And people were commuting on it.
And people were using it for
like,
commuting.
I went into the gift shop outside Laxey Wheel, and the guy was like, I mean, it was hilarious because the whole gift shop was like train stuff.
It was
train books and train magazines.
Oh, that guy.
He was
No. We discussed him. So you know how like when you have a vintage motorcycle, the old men come to you. Right. He's flipped the game and he opened a store, and now everybody comes to him, and then he attacks you and tells you about trains.
He had a store of antique train magazines.
Right. Yeah,
like the whole store is just train magazines.
Yeah.
But he was like, I ride the train to work every day.
Of course.
Of course he does. And he knows which car is what car and what wheel was broken.
It's hilarious.
And on Tuesday they replaced the left screw on the third arm.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he's that guy. Not mad about it. He was awesome. Yeah.
Awesome.
And then I have a little statement for the people of Italy. We've been on this trip. We've been in Dublin, and we've been here in the Isle of Man, and every toilet had a seat.
True. That's true.
Every toilet had a seat.
And every toilet was clean.
It had a brush and paper, and it was clean.
Yeah.
And it was amazing. So it just proves to you folks, on the continent, it can be done. It can exist. If you live in a polite society, you can have a place to sit and a thing to wipe with. And it's not like all hell's going to break loose. You can give people that, and they'll respect it, and they'll work with you. When we were up at Victory Cafe, would anyone like to describe what it's like to be at the Victory Cafe up on top of the
Snæfell Mountain.
The bungalow. Thank you. Right, Snæfell Mountain.
Not only that, but that was the first place we went. So that was my first experience of anything to do with the Manx GP.
What'd you think about it?
It was fucking insane. Like you're on top of this mountainy looking thing with like a bar that would be overrun down in some major city, but it's up on a mountain. Every single person there is a motorcycle freaking fanatic. When you go inside, it's all motorcycle everything. And then you're at this cool place, but then all of a sudden you look outside and then there's a race going by.
Well, in the spot, we talk about like garden spot of the gods. You are on the top of a mountain,
right,
looking down in any direction, sheep and hedgerows.
Sheep that you're like, is that sheep going to get on the track
and
somehow?
Purple flowers. Right? No, the sheep are hit.
I know, but they're so close. Yeah. You're like, oh yeah, there's a fence.
Well, they're painted for their favorite race team. Right?
It's true.
They're done up in BMW colors.
There were some blue
colors.
And yellows for
They're blue and yellow, right?
He didn't race, but they were still dressed.
Right. Yeah, either the Honda racing sheep or the ones with the red spot. Yeah.
Well, I think they've been genetically modified so that they don't run out into the road.
Well, you weren't with us when we went on the back roads through nowhere where the sheep are like, oh, the road's warm. Let me lay upon it.
It's true. When you take away the hedgerows, when you take away the walls, the sheep are like, oh, the road's mighty warm. So we had to finesse the what the hell is that? You guys are driving like, don't call it a Yaris. It's an Axiom?
Avgo.
It's a Toyota.
An Ago? It's an Ago?
Toyota.
Let go of my Ago.
Ago slow.
Ago slow.
Like I have footage of
Ago's
like a
fast,
sheep
Ago's
passing
slow.
my camera within 1 inch.
Yeah.
Hanging
We
out
were
with
just
my-
brushing up against them. Yeah. Yeah, there was Marshall took us on either it was, hey, Google says this is a road, or it was like, this is how we get there. One of the two. It was either Google says this is a road, and we were very surprised to find out
50-50.
it was 50-50.
And if either of our
The
cars,
definition is elastic.
right? But if either of our cars were more than 2 inches wider, we couldn't have traversed.
Oh,
that
there's
road.
no way. There's absolutely right. Right.
Yeah, right.
If we would have had an F anything,
Yeah.
we would not have made it down that road.
But when you leave the airport, you're like
Right.
Bentley, Aston Martin. You're like, oh, these are not the roads they go.
They don't go on these roads. No.
That would be a turning around
And-
situation for them.
And all the roads, all the greenways and everything that we were on, all these farming roads that we were on, were fantastic roads. They were great. There was not a bad one. And there was only, I think, one time where we were like, stop, back up a wee bit, let the other person go by, and each of you put 2 tires in the mud.
That being said, on that incident, I
Yeah.
was like, oh,
Right.
because neither of those two were going slow, and the
No.
car came around and they stopped. Like that was pretty
It was
interesting.
legit. That was legit. And
I
it
think it
is.
felt for my seat.
Oh,
Right.
I'm sure.
Yeah, you're
I
on the
was
right
gonna
hand
bring
side
you
of the
some
car.
tissues or
Yeah,
something
right.
just to wipe.
You're in the
Sneaking
impact
under the door,
zone.
It's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Cornfield me.
Yeah, it was really fun. I mean, it's been an absolute blast so far. We're having a great time.
We haven't done anything that hasn't been fucking awesome.
No, everything has been
entire
way
week,
over
dude.
the top.
Yeah.
Everything has been unusually over the top since we've arrived. And what's the crazy thing is, there had been talk, there's like, oh, weather is always a concern here. When Oscar and I were here, weather jacked up our whole trip. And it's funny that it's only taken them 115 years to figure out that if the weather's forecasted to be bad in the second week, push everything into the first week, right? Because when we were here, they were just like, well, keep canceling things. Delay, and then, cancel. Yeah. So you're sort of, you're on pins and needles every day to be like, look at the weather forecast. We're going to go get a spot. We're going to stand there. And then you're waiting for some weather reporter standing on top of a mountain 30 miles away to give you a report. You're like, well, the weather here is like, it's lightly sunning and it's delightful. But they're like, oh, but on the mountain road, 3 sheep just blew by.
But see, until you're here, that doesn't mean anything.
Right.
You're like, oh, okay, so like, what, it rains? No, it's a completely different climate.
No, and you can see, you can literally see Douglas from the mountain.
Right.
And you can look out and see the wind farm, out in the water by Ramsey.
But you hear 37.5 miles, and it doesn't mean anything in your head. You're thinking motorcycle race.
Right.
No, this is traversing the entire fucking island. It is
literally going through weather patterns.
And, like this part could be completely under fucking a storm, and over here could be sunny as hell. Like,
once you're here, you understand that if somebody said they were going to be having a pit stop in Kirkmichael to put on rain tires, that might be authorized. That you'd be like, that might be a thing you might have to do. Right? Based on the weather changing. So it is, very rarely, I think, do we have the weather that we've had thus far where it was sunny overall 37.7 miles, right?
Right.
So it's just been this great weather. Our day one, when we were at the top of Bungalow, and as we're just setting down our chairs, we schlepped up through the sheep fields. We parked our 2, reprehensible, embarrassing rental cars in the closest place you could ever possibly park. And we schlepped up the hill. We set our chairs down, and the entire Simpson Motorcycle Club from Germany showed up within 2 minutes of our arrival. And there were 12 of them.
Yep.
And they had ridden in here from Germany.
East Germany.
Some of them, very East Germany.
How many Simpsons do you think there are in Europe?
Like
we saw good
16?
portion.
We know there were a lot of them, but we know that
there were 12 of them were here.
Right. I mean,
how many were left? 4?
Right.
5?
Yeah,
and
exactly.
on top of that, they started that.
No, the rest of them are all in Cold War museums.
Right.
Yeah,
they started that journey about 6 weeks ago. Because what's the top speed? 40.
We did follow a couple of them. They're not exactly high speed movers, but they were great guys. So they were super good guys, and they were very into the idea of us being there, from the States. And we were into the idea of them being there from Germany and their whole crew, and that was really, really fun. And of course, if you run into Germans, if you're going to go anywhere to any motorcycle event where Germans will be around, take a fucking stack of stickers for your crew, right? Because the Germans just get right to the point. Hi, where are you from? Oh, really? Let's trade stickers.
Here's our sticker.
Right, that's it. Do not show up empty sticker handed when there's Germans about.
Yeah, I couldn't believe how many times I'd meet somebody and go just hand them a sticker and I got one back. It's
Guaranteed.
a thing.
They're
and
ready to go.
But they're not promoting anything.
No,
it's just Jimmy from Timmy.
Right, but it's sort of the thing like, here's my card.
Yeah.
Well, here's my club.
Yeah.
And it was wonderful. And everybody was super, super friendly. And what I also thought was great was nobody knows us from anybody. And yet people are walking up going, oh, well, would you like some of this? Would you like some of that? And instantly people are sharing things. And I was like busting out the chocolate. I'm passing out chocolate to everybody. And we had this fantastic day. Oh. Now, I have to be clear to people who've never been here. For every 15 seconds that you watch a motorcycle go, there's 12 minutes of, okay, so who's going through?
Well, it's exciting when
who's
two
going
come
around?
Out, you're like, there's 2.
Right. Oh yeah. There's 2.
Pass.
And because we should clarify for the players at home, the home gamers,
Guilty.
that this is a TT. So it's a TT, which means that the riders are dispatched from the starting line at a given interval.
Every 10 seconds.
So when you see 2, that means one has caught the other.
Yeah.
And so this is another funny element, is if the race is scheduled to have, Marshall is in starting position, he's leaving at, 0:00, Sleepy's leaving 10 seconds later, Oscar's leaving 10 seconds later, then I'm leaving 10 seconds later. But if Sleepy's bike breaks, then there's an empty spot.
Yep.
They don't run Oscar 10 seconds after Marshall.
Right.
They literally have a dead space.
Yep.
Now, in some of the racing that we were watching, 3 or 4 bikes did not make it to the next heat.
Mm-hmm.
They had technicals because we're talking about vintage motorcycles here.
Mm-hmm.
And we're also talking about things like a Norton Rotary, which the best as we can figure, the Norton Rotary ran for 16 minutes total for the entire weekend.
But on top of that was my
sounded
one
awesome.
It sounded awesome, and I think they went through 3 motors.
But they always so like I was filming everything and like I really wanted to get the Norton.
Sure.
And so it never came during a normal race. It would be like the marshals would go by signaling that the
Right.
race was over. I'd put the camera down and 4 seconds later the Norton would go.
And it is that kind of thing. It's like John Player Special, JPS Norton out of fucking nowhere,
Yeah.
right?
Hey.
Because it's just a dead surprise.
Yeah.
And we and then if I think we were at the Raven.
Yeah, we finally got it.
When we were at the Raven, it was like, oh shit, it should be bike number 4. And so we got the 3 bikes to go by, and then everybody's ready. There goes the Norton over the jump. Everybody got it? Great, because it broke down exactly 2 miles later.
But
that was the end of the Norton.
Right, that was the end of the Norton.
But I give Oscar, you got it.
I did get it
Yeah,
at Gooseneck.
Yeah.
Right. And so I think every year there is a bike that we're like, okay, that has become our unicorn.
Yeah.
Seeing that particular bike and that particular thing, it becomes our unicorn that we want to see. It's the bike that we're really excited about, and everybody kind of gets jazzed for that thing. And you may not even give a snot about that vehicle prior to getting here.
Right.
But it sucks you in.
It does.
Yeah. The environment here sucks
Well, not to
you in.
mention it's Hickman on it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, there's a whole lot.
There's a whole lot of
There's a lot of cool.
Right.
Well,
yeah.
and here's the interesting thing too. The Manx obviously is not quite the level of the TT, but then you have a couple of the main TT riders riding these vintage
Of
bikes,
course.
Yep.
and you instantly know how good they are compared to the rest of the field.
Well, here's the funny thing: when you have a motorcycle that was a pretty hot, spicy unit in 1992,
Yeah.
and that motorcycle is being ridden today
Mhm.
on different rubber
Mhm.
with a modern rider,
Right.
and now he's only 16 seconds off the pace
It's
of what a modern motorcycle would be doing.
But I'm saying, like John McGuinness
Right.
was like what 40 seconds or no?
Yeah.
How long was the one gap? It was
It
something
was big.
It was
It's
over
like
20,
13
right, 20 some seconds.
Yeah.
Right.
On that patent.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was a 19.
The bike is a 1968. Yeah, the bike is a 1968 patent.
But then also Michael Dunlop.
Dunlop was like
on the
3
GSXR
minutes on top. Yeah,
750.
3
The
minutes
GSXR
ahead.
750, he's pushing 130s.
Yeah.
The guy's doing 130s.
He was almost
on
on
a
the pace.
1990s motorcycle.
Right. And also because we do love our Johnny McPint, John McGuinness was here. They were celebrating John McGuinness. So they have a John McGuinness tribute, sort of.
30 years.
He's an
30
MBE,
years.
right?
Yep.
The 30 years of doing the Isle of Man. He showed up here when he was 24. He's 54 now. In the world of professional sports, 54 is not usually when you're hitting your stride.
He's one of us.
And
I mean, he's one of us, but he's just
well,
awesome.
I can tell you, he's not 5% body fat.
I can
right?
fit his leathers perfectly.
I'm certain of it.
Yep.
Yeah, and
He
that's
might be a little taller.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's a little taller,
taller.
Yeah.
Everything else.
but
Yeah.
that's kind of the thing. And he's a guy of the people. He eats meat pies. He drinks Guinness. He smokes cigarettes, and he goes out and sets fucking records. And he podiums at the Isle of Man for not 1, not 2, but 3 races.
And he's
Right.
not shy of any part of that track, man.
And he's super sweet and fun and,
Yeah.
and easy to talk to. So it is one of those things, of all the motorsport kind of things that we participate in, this is a really fun one because we get to walk through the pits. Now, normally when you go to a motorcycle race, they have armed guards and chain link fences and people asking you for your laminated credentials before you're allowed to go anywhere near the motorcycles or the carts that carry the tires to the motorcycles.
Right.
Here we were in the damn tent with all 8 of the motorcycles that were historical John McGuinness vehicles from history and talking to the men that maintain all of these vehicles.
Well, heck, I turned around at one point and you were on a Tom Petty fucking side.
I was on a classic, I was kneeling down into a BMW vintage Isle of Man racing motorcycle sidecar rig that was on the track later the day.
Right, and that also happens to be featured in a few Tom Petty videos.
Right, exactly.
You know,
So it is just that kind of a thing where it gives you access. And
Yeah.
as a motorcycle enthusiast, nothing makes you really get jazzed more than kind of going in and popping your head into a tent and somebody going, hey, you should come over here and take a look at this. We're putting on this cool part now.
Right.
Or take a look at that over there. That's the thing that my kid is building. And, oh, take a look at that thing over there. That's the bike that we ran 15 years ago, and it's for sale right now.
Right.
And that's
Hand me that spanner.
right. And while you're at it, don't be a dipshit. Hand me that spanner. Exactly. It's so true, and it is absolutely a very much one-on, close, high-resolution event. It's very granular. When you're here, you are very close to it. When I lie down on the grass, when I lie down in the berm, in fields of clover, in fields of heather, and a motorcycle goes past my face at 165 miles an hour, drops 4 gears and makes a hard right-hand turn in front of a pub, right? And I can smell it.
How about smell it? How
And I
about
can
getting your
taste it.
hat blown off by the wind as it's
Absolutely.
going by 5 inches
Absolutely.
from your head?
Yeah.
And that spot at Craig Naba, you guys were absolutely right. Hiking 200 meters. Hiking 200 meters and plopping my ass down. I carried that giant fucking heavy ass moon chair, a ridiculous folding chair. And if you're our host and you're the landlord here and everything else, I don't know why you bought that cocksucker. It's ridiculous. It's like a Papasan chair, and it claims as being portable, but it's not. I should have taken a dining room table with me.
You need a trailer for it.
Yeah, it was something.
It is comfy though.
It is damn comfy. Yeah, after Matt had his spill, we'll talk about that later, but he's not allowed to operate any of the fun REI chairs, any of the lightweight camping chairs anymore. He gets the moon chair from
Just
now
fall
on.
down again, yeah.
Because the moon chair has its own gravity, and it's great. It was stable at Gooseneck.
Very stable.
At Gooseneck, when I saw him almost, lazy
Ass
boy
over tea
himself,
kettle, yeah.
lazy boy himself down a 75-foot crevasse, I
For
was
the
like,
second time in 2 days.
oh,
Yeah.
We're like,
That's
dude,
right.
don't do that again.
And no hat tricks. Yeah.
no hat
Yeah,
tricks.
but
I gave him the moon chair, and I was like, yeah, because you can't knock that fucker over, man. That was it.
But you were talking about 160 miles an hour, right?
Yeah.
You could play the game. You could watch TV. You could look at YouTube. You could
Yeah.
watch the videos I'll post at some point.
Right.
Nothing can prepare you to look at the stones
Mm-hmm.
that these guys are passing because on TV everywhere else they just that's a stone wall.
Oh, do you know what I haven't seen since I've been here?
What?
This is fucking weird. I mean, I've seen some stuff. But what I have not seen here, and I've been to tracks all over the planet, I have not seen 6 inches of air wall.
No. But that's what I was getting
They
to.
can't
The
keep it-
rocks.
They can't keep it
The
up.
rocks
It's
are
too
razor
big a track.
blades. The rocks are like ancient
Yeah.
fucking slate razor blades.
Yeah.
The brick, it's not a wall. It's not like, oh, he wrecked it in 130 into this hard, solid wall. No, he's wrecking into a cheese grater
Right.
that will make leather fucking disappear in 2 seconds.
And they have
Like,
these things along the course, and you're like, oh, this is really nice. This is a 6-foot tall inflatable black orb. And it's
Nope.
like, oh, it's a 6-foot tall, 6-foot diameter black sphere that's obviously full of just angel farts and air, right?
I think it's
And,
full of hay.
and then you get next to it and you
They're
realize
hay
no, we
it
broke
is-
our hands slapping it.
we tried to slap it and it hurt my
Ah!
hand. It's not hay, it's hay compressed within an inch of its life. It's hay concrete.
It's
and
there
they-
to protect the buildings, not the riders.
And they shrink wrap this shit like at 73 layers. And when I was like, okay, well, they put it every time there's a marshal's booth, every time there's some other thing or a camera location that they don't want a motorcycle going into and evaporating into a million pieces.
Right.
They protect it by 2 things: a Motul thing of tires or something
Yeah.
that is basically like, don't hit this,
Or a
because
gym
it's
pad
there.
that's like 6 inches
And then
thick.
this black camouflaged black thing,
Yeah.
this monolith, that if you hit it with a double-decker bus, it's going to total the double-decker bus.
Yeah.
There's no way in the world you can survive an impact with this thing. And this is the Isle of Man. The safety devices will kill you,
Yeah.
right? The things that are adjacent to the road to protect a $20 shack that a guy can stand in so he doesn't get wet while he's marshalling will destroy a motorcycle if it hits even the corner of it.
Yeah.
We've had a couple of fatalities here, and that's par for the course. That there have been, about 3 people a year on average die at this racing location at this place.
Getting to drive on the track, which is another thing.
Which we're doing a lot of, I might
of.
add. We have made laps plural of this track backwards and forwards.
But the roads,
because that's how people get to work.
It's not like they were like, okay, we're holding this world-renowned race, so we're going to make the roads fucking it's going to be unbelievable how smooth they are.
No, they can get a little rough.
It's insane.
Oh,
yeah.
Like, I can't believe that these... Like, when you see the videos, like the onboard videos of Peter Hickman going 232 or 132 around the entire track, 190 down the thing, and you're seeing all that shit bouncing all over the place, that's not a loose camera.
If you're not familiar with the Isle of Man, the number 130 sticks out because 130 is not the top speed attained on the course.
No.
130 is the average speed for 37.7 miles. And that means for every time that you were going 30 around some of these turns, that you had to be going 375 miles an hour to average that out, right? Because it seems impossible to me, after driving it now multiple times, that we could say that the average speed for a fellow on a motorcycle was 130 miles an hour.
Not like that, but
because some of these turns are literally unachievable in a shitty rental car.
Right. But then you hear the bike. So it's a S1000R tuned.
Right.
And it's at it's in sixth gear
at
14,000 RPMs for minutes.
And that's a medic.
Right. That's a medic. That's a marshal.
That's the traveling doctor guy.
Yeah. That's Dr.
Not
Thrust.
one of those guys did not jump the bridge.
Oh,
Not one of them.
All of them, all the marshals and the medics, when they hit the jump at Balloch Bridge, they sent it.
Yes, they did.
They were just like,
awesome.
They were like,
most of them are ex-racers.
Of course.
Right. Yeah,
and they sent it harder.
be.
And they sent it harder than anyone else did because they're like, hey, it doesn't matter if my tire's on the ground.
Yeah.
Right? I'm going.
I did think that the driving around the track, I mean, like having played the game a bunch and watched God knows how many, onboards and been here in 2023, I still didn't have an appreciation for like a variety of parts of the course because you can't see it all.
No, you can't.
Like even coming multiple times.
But it's interesting to see
so many places.
It's interesting to see it coming together though. As you're driving, you're like, oh, I know that one.
Yeah,
oh,
that's what I mean. Like,
you're stitching
now
it
that
together.
I've driven it a couple times, I'm like. Oh, I kind of get it now.
I'm driving through some of the turns and I see Sleepy scooch in next to me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's not going to help.
The wall
I was climbing on shit. I was trying to be a monkey, dude.
And we're going around a corner and you can hear the as like the horticulture hits the side of the car.
Yeah.
And you're like, this is amazing. This is a great road.
I was like, Phil, I like stuff foreground in my shots, but not actually slapping me in the camera.
It was fun. It was a super, super great time. And it is weird. So, like, to let people know, this is a playground where we saw an Ariel Atom adventure off-road car thing. We've seen countless exotic motorcycles, including the new Bruff Superior, which is $1 million motorcycle.
Wait. Not only did we see it,
yeah,
this dude, whoever you are, you beautiful person, is not trailering this thing around.
No, he's parking it up next to the broken beer cans.
And it was covered in mud and rain and sludge.
Clearly been riding
This motherfucker's riding that thing, which, I mean, cheers to you, my friend.
We saw Vincent Black Shadow twice.
In pouring rain.
One of the time was 2 up in the rain.
In the rain.
Because that guy was like, well, I'm going to the Isle of Man and I need to bring a bike. I guess I'll bring my Vincent.
Exactly.
I got him leaving today. He came up, beeped for me, gave me a wave, and then his wife climbed on, and they both waved and drove away on a
So when you need to ride around the Isle of Man,
we even saw a Vincent sidecar rig.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, absolutely. It's just there. So when you were here, you have to remember, especially here during the Classic, that it is a operational museum.
Everything.
That the motorcycles that are on the track are operational pieces of motorcycle history, but then, there are Velocets on the racetrack. Yeah. I mean, we saw Velocets, and I say racetrack. I've been on racetracks, 2.3, 2.5, 3 miles, right? Those are racetracks.
Yeah.
This is 37.7 miles of fucking racetrack.
It's insane.
And it is the craziest damn thing. And when you think about like European racing, Monaco GP, Le Mans, all this kind of stuff, nobody else, like even Nürburgring doesn't have 37.7 miles to play with.
No, and the thing is like, especially because this is more of the vintage one, obviously the Manx GP. It's like, it's the honor of bringing your bike that you've worked on for 20 years. And so all these guys that are not local, but within maybe a driving distance from all of Europe, bring these fucking cherished, loved. Some of these guys have probably owned the bike for 50 years and they're coming and you're seeing 50 years accumulation of skills, techniques and all this to get these vintage bikes going down the road at 60 miles an hour, and that's the only bike they brought for the whole week.
Well, it's a rider's event.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Oh, it sure
100%.
is.
It's not about being seen. It's
Yeah.
about seeing.
Right.
And I think what's cool is, like, to your point, the museum is a living museum, right? Because we're here to see the bikes that have been restored and work on track, whatever. But then everybody who comes is also an exhibit in the museum.
Boy, they certainly are.
I mean, a bunch of like we were to the bike show today, and like, don't get me wrong, the stuff in the show was unbelievable.
Fantastic.
Parking lot.
But the parking lot was also
And here,
unbelievable.
I've had dreams about being
The
somewhere.
show was 53 bikes. The parking lot was 1,800 bikes.
With
and
like
it was
10 Velasets.
And it was 1,800 bikes that
And they were
all
all
should
in-
be in a
yeah.
museum
Yeah, right,
at some point.
right.
Yeah.
Like, and there are more Velasets in the like spectator parking lot than I've ever seen in my life.
Racing Ducatis were parked up against the seawall
Yeah.
with legit, scrutineering stickers on them. Track-lived Ducati Racing Desmos. And they're parked up, and just the ocean salt water is just bashing them.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my God.
But
this
it's so
is
interesting
insane.
to walk down the street. I've had dreams like this, But like you walk down the street and every single person is talking about motorcycles.
It's true.
Like every restaurant,
It's
everything.
true.
90% of the people are wearing full leathers, just
Right.
everywhere.
Just everywhere.
You walk into a pub, so you don't have to be like, hey, what are you into? You're like,
Yeah.
well, you're obviously into
You're
motorcycles.
obviously
You're here.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so cool.
I mean, even the locals, right? Like,
Oh, yeah.
when we were at, before you guys came in, Oscar and my dad and I, we drove, so we got the car,
Mm-hmm.
we got the rental car, and we put our crap in the back, and we drove straight to the track because the roads were already closed.
Yes, exactly.
And they were doing qualifying.
Right.
And so we went to the Railway Inn, which is in Union Mills.
Yep.
And we just parked the car, we walked down, and the marshals are there, and they're like, oh, yeah, where are you from? You're welcome, whatever. We're like, oh, we're from the States. And they're like, oh, cool, how long you been here? Like, 12 minutes?
Exactly.
And they were like, so you just like went to your hotel, put your stuff down, and we're like,
Nope.
Not
no,
yet.
we came straight here. And they go,
Yeah.
holy shit, that's awesome.
That's awesome.
And so then we go up to like the observation deck where we're watching the qualifying,
Yeah.
and the two women, I think it was a mom and
Mom
her
and daughter.
daughter, who were like running the food truck, right? So we got like a burger or whatever.
Mhm.
When there was no line at the food truck, they like run out to the fence
To watch
and watch
the
the
racing.
racing, and then like
Yeah.
every once in a while the mom would like look back, like, oh shit, they're from the food truck.
Customers.
We gotta go. We gotta
And
go.
then
we
run
gotta
back
go.
to the food truck.
Yeah, it was awesome.
When we were on our way in, once we got the placenta, we're heading into town, and we're seeing all this great traffic and everything else is cool. But I'm like, okay, well, there's going to be a problem. Where we're going past like the Manx the Manx cat, hotel and stuff. And as we're rolling in, I was telling Sleepy, I was like, well, we're going to run into a problem because when we get into Douglas proper, they're doing practice right now, and we're going to be screwed because I think we're going to get to Quarter Bridge and they're going to double us back on each other.
Mhm.
No, they did not. They did not. They sent us on Mr. Toad's Wild fucking ride.
Mm-hmm.
So we went down several one-way streets the wrong way, and contraflow and everything else because the island shuts off during the racing.
They adapt.
They have to adapt, right? And so you have to consider that if you're a person that has been living here for a very long time and you have a job you have to go to or a job you have to come home from, that while they're running the TT or while they're running the classic, that you, in fact, your work week is going to be upset. And when we arrived, it was like we're going home from work time.
Yeah.
But we're kind of looping around and we're like, oh, we're at Quarter Bridge, and all of a sudden, and we're like, oh shit, we're right in the middle of a race right now. And one of our friends, Mike Toki from Indianapolis, says, how the hell is it that in 37.7 miles they keep some dumb fuck from getting on the road in front of the race or as part of the race? And I will tell you, Mike, it is every single person here got the memo.
Yeah.
And they somehow managed to have enough fencing to block off 37.7 miles of road so that dumb tourists can't walk out into it. And then about 1,600 years ago, different peoples who lived here started building rock walls. And they started building rock walls. And the rock walls take care of about 97% of the problem.
Mm-hmm.
Because a cat can't scratch these walls. Like, these walls are 4 feet tall and made of the planet Earth.
Mm-hmm.
And 1 2 foot by 4 inch chunk of really heavy stone at a time, stacked end on end on end, is going to keep the bicycle or the car or the motorcycle from ending up on the road.
Right. But I also think there's a level of respect that everybody's here.
That's the thing.
Because there
We
are
got the
areas,
memo.
there's our areas where like you could, like me and Oscar getting all these shots, we kept going places where the roads were open. And like you could literally, if you were an asshole, lay out onto the track and hope that they didn't hit you.
Normally, a 14-year-old girl walks up to me and tells me not to do something. I'm not going to give her any mind. But if she's wearing an orange vest,
Yep, you're on.
she's a marshal.
Yep.
And that means I'm going to do whatever she says. 2 guys, and I don't know who you were, guys, but 2 guys worked the entire goddamn grandstands. And what did they do? They told you couldn't stand in the front by the fence because you were obstructing the sight line of the people sitting in the chairs.
That was amazing.
And this is a very, very British socialist thing, I might add. That if Sleepy stood up in his chair to take a picture of some bikes, they would look at Sleepy and be like, they'd wave their hand at him to go down, to sit down. And if Sleepy wasn't paying attention, one of us would be like, hey, dude, sit down.
Well, but they'd give him a 3 count before that.
Right. Exactly.
Well, none of it was done maliciously. Or
No,
anything.
it's not malicious at all.
All I'm saying
Even
is
the marshals.
they would give you a chance to take your photo, and then if you sat down, fine.
Like they're like
No harm, no foul.
But the one kid looked at Sleepy and said, I've told you more than once. And I was like, oh, you better be careful. Because you don't want to get ejected from the grandstands at the Isle of Man. Because I don't even know what Manx jail looks like, but I'm certain it's delicious.
Well, no. So we went to the top because we figured.
I know
you can't.
You could
stand
stand up there,
no,
and nobody could. You wouldn't be impeding anybody's vision.
No, but you couldn't.
No,
stand.
but if nobody else can stand, then you shouldn't be able to stand either.
Right.
And that's the way a society works, Sleepy.
No, but the thing is like.
Right?
I do think it's interesting though, like having now watched a lot of the stuff and read and talked and whatever. There's also an element of like if people who just showed up or the dumb tourist thing, they don't know, everybody's gonna tell them.
Yeah.
Right? If they start doing something,
Self-police.
they're a bunch of, it's very self-police.
Somebody wandered out onto the track going down Bray Hill where the gas station is by the overpass.
Somebody's like, hey, you can't
And
do
they
that.
were coming out of the gas station, and Oscar and I have been there 100 times at that particular gas station. It's just out of the grandstands.
Yeah.
And some fucking lunatic just straight up, like, he got his beer and was like, I'm walking out in the street. And he did. He circumvented the gates. It's tough to do that. It's their toy. They got it figured out. And this knucklehead went out in a live racetrack. And you didn't have to wait for the police.
No, because all the people standing.
Because
just pulled
all
him
the
back over
people were
fence.
like, you know.
And then the marshals showed up.
Yeah.
And arrested him.
Yes,
because
they
the
did.
marshals on the Isle of Man
Have the
during
arrest
the
power.
race have the power to
Exactly.
arrest.
That 14-year-old girl can arrest you.
But to their credit, so like if you were in the States at a racetrack, anybody in power and you're doing, if mistaken, like you can obviously tell somebody's not doing something intentionally, right? And in the States, it'd be like, hey, the fuck over there, right?
No.
These guys are like, hey, pardon me, you can't come over there. And then if you get, obviously we didn't, but I'm saying I'm sure if you did, then that happens. But like their initial intent is, I don't know if you knew this, but let's move back here.
And mostly
Who
it's
is
for your
staying
safety.
who is sleeping tonight in a house where the owners of the house have said you don't have to lock the doors?
Oh,
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Okay?
yeah.
Right. And I've talked to several people that are like, oh, crime's not really a problem here. And you're like, well, I guess you are on an island. So
Yeah,
if
you
I stole
can't-
your moped, I wouldn't be able to fence it.
No.
Unless I had access to a boat.
And you only got 30 miles. Like, You're not going very far.
Right.
Yeah.
So your career being a criminal on this island is going to be a very short career.
Right.
And everybody remembers everything when you're on a very small island.
And I have a feeling that if you do try to harm the locals, they could probably unite pretty quickly and take care
I
of
believe they've done it
And
7
would,
or 8
yes.
times.
Yeah.
I believe that's it.
You know, though, you do have to admire the level of common sense, though.
Yeah.
You know, certain tourists, notwithstanding, but, you know, when we went to Craignabar,
Sure.
I mean, we're sitting literally feet from the road.
Yeah.
And some of us are leaned up on the bank to take pictures
Right.
from the bank, not
Right.
leaning into the track,
Right.
right, as they come down from the previous curve. And no one ever got even remotely close to doing anything stupid while we were there.
Nobody hundreds. But here was the thing that was interesting. So last night, me and Marshall were watching some stuff, and I think me and Oscar. No, it was me and Oscar. At the one point, we were watching like last year's TT, and so a lot of the places that we were, that we were like, oh, that's a lot of people. No. Like,
No.
it was like 40 people deep and 17 miles way more people.
If Oscar, where we were standing at the Raven, Oscar and I were there at 19.
Yeah.
And if Oscar would have said, Phil, I need to pee in the worst way, I got to go inside and have a pee. his spot would be taken over by 2 Dutch people, a German, and a dog.
Yeah.
Like, there is zero chance you can hold a spot there, even if you have to go pee. You're going to relinquish your spot, and it's done forever. Adjacent to the Raven, well, Raven has their own upstairs patio over on the right-hand side where there's tables and chairs and everything. I went over there, and there was like 2 people sitting at a table.
It was his buddy, the Spanish.
The Spanish, all the
Spanish
Spaniards.
Yeah.
That was fun too.
Yeah.
But it's true that, like, the population of this event, when compared to the TT, the GP TT, the big one, is wild, because where Oscar and I were, we were on city public buses where you couldn't fit another human in. They were like, sorry, nobody else can get on the bus. We're rolling. And now, when we look out over at the glamping, and there's like 8 tents, right?
Well, that's what I said. I think if you've never been to either, I think coming to the Manx GP. So for me, this was amazing, because now I want to go to the TT, but I know the layout.
A rental car would have done us no damn good in 2019 at the GT. In fact, our friend who had rented a Triumph motorcycle came back and was like, I got a motorcycle. There's nowhere for me to park it.
Right.
It was just overpopulated.
Yeah.
Here, we pulled up to the Raven, and I don't want to say that we had handicap parking, but we had handicap parking.
I was able.
There
to
was one spot
Rockstar,
closer to the
that's
truck
exactly.
than us.
Yes.
Unbelievably, I was able to go and just put a camera in the car and take what I wanted, and then walk the 10 feet back to the car and then walk to the perfect shot.
I saw a camera crew adjacent to us, and I was going to say, if we wanted to watch the highlights, we could see the periwinkle placenta.
Yeah.
Because I'm certain we were in the shot.
Yeah.
Because the periwinkle placenta, Chris Peters, our friend from England, came by. He rode here, and we've had several interactions with Chris on the roads, out driving around, because the periwinkle placenta sticks out.
Yeah.
Like, in a world of mostly dark colored automobiles,
Well, you know what
the
else
periwinkle placenta
was
stands
like
out.
At the Raven,
Yeah.
there was that guy, the biker, like the local biker.
The
guy
local
with
biker guy.
with the camera,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But like compared to an event where you'd never see these people again, I saw him like 8 more times. So
Well,
now we're
because-
like buddies.
because-
Like, what up?
Because him and Dan are dating.
Yeah, I know. Well, there was
Yeah. Every
will
time I
say-
see this guy, I was like, that's Dan's boyfriend.
yeah, super nice guy. Though.
I do gotta say, in defense of the TT as an experience,
Yeah.
so we came 23.
Yeah.
No question, the crowds were insane. And there's an environment like it's
Okay.
cool. It's cool. To
Carnival.
experience. Yeah, it's
It's a
totally
carnival environment.
100%.
Yeah.
It's
But
chaos.
what I will say,
Yeah.
to your point about like your spot just vanishes,
Mm.
we were at the bottom of Bray Hill,
Mhm.
and actually we watched from there during the super super bike race
Right.
when Hickman set the record.
Well, he set
which
track
Curtis
record.
stands.
Yeah.
And we were down there, and it was 15 people deep,
Oh, yeah.
but there were these guys from Poland or Eastern Europe or
Mhm.
something, and they were like a couple of people in front of us, and
Yeah.
they heard us talking with our
Right.
accents. When you're talking to people, as you said, between races, between whatever while you're waiting,
Right.
like, you've never been here before? Like, no, we're really excited. This is our first time. He's like, come here.
Well, come up here to the front.
And he like
Exactly.
pushes us up into the front
Right.
of the thing. He's like, I've been here 6 times. You should stand right here
That's
and
great.
watch
Yeah.
the bikes.
But
come
that's the
Yeah.
respect of all the people here for each other and the
'Cause we're
event.
all-
and
it was so
everything.
cool.
Oh,
Our
man.
first year, our 2019 year, we were kind of standing. We're standing outside of the Raven, right next to Bollock Bridge, right next to the jump.
Mhm.
And Oscar and I don't know shit from Shinola at this point, and we are standing up, and these 2 folks that had camping chairs there, they said, "Don't stand up there. When the marshals come and put the fence up, you'll be on the wrong side of it."
Mhm.
And now, keep in mind, TTs, there were hundreds and hundreds of people standing to the left of the Raven. Hundreds and hundreds. It was fucked. And so she goes, "No, don't stand there, darling. Stand back here next to our chairs. They're going to put the yellow fence directly in front of where our chairs are. And so stand next to us for the next 45 minutes." And we did. And wouldn't you know it, the yellow fence materialized right in front of us. And everybody in front of it got cut, put in the streets, and recycled to the back of the group.
Mhm.
And Oscar and I, because of some locals who were like, "Oh, you've never been here before."
Mm.
It's great.
Let me hook you up with the secret.
Yeah.
Now, about the people, about the culture, the people that are here. They're sweet, but they're monochromatic. You don't see a lot of people of color here.
The melanin count is low.
It is low. This entire island is like SPF 50,
Mhm.
right? There is zero, and good thing there's no chance of catching a sunburn.
Well, and between this and Ireland, 89% of gingers live around here.
Yes, that's true. There are a lot of gingers.
Yeah.
I've seen more gingers than I've ever seen. Yeah, the gingers are thick on the ground here.
Yeah.
But we did have some Spaniards that popped up with us. So we had a bunch of Spaniards that we ran into. We ran into a bunch of Germans and East Germans. We ran into a bunch of Spaniards.
Yep.
And that was great. They were super fun
Mm-hmm.
because they've been coming to the TT, what do they say, every third year?
Every other year. Only in pairs.
year.
On the
Okay.
even.
Yeah.
Even years.
So on the
They go
even
to some other rally in Europe.
and they're super cool.
Yeah,
These guys were all great. And they were fun. They were just really, really nice guys that were like, yeah, this is really fun. So for most races, you just don't meet people from other cultures that are riding motorcycles and then instantly, I forgot about this, where the phones come out. And they're like, oh, well, this is what I have at home.
Yeah.
I got a 1951 Herkimer Battle Jitney, right? And the whole deal. And it all comes down where you're just like, oh, yeah, and I've got this, and I've got that. And this is my trailer, and this is my thing. Because in any normal human interaction, these are my kids.
Right.
Yeah. This is my dog. These are my
This is my
kids.
dog.
Yeah.
But not on this one. No. For this 2 weeks, my friend, this is my 1953 Triumph, right?
It gets even worse than that. I was talking to a guy, and I was telling him about Johnny Mac, because he was a Honda guy.
Right.
And I said, oh, man, Johnny Mac just sold a supercharger. He goes, like this? And he pulls it out, and he showed me
It's a
not
Druin
a picture of a bike,
supercharger.
not a picture of a
No.
bike or anything,
No.
a picture of a supercharger in a box.
Right.
And I was like, oh, yeah,
That's it. That is definitely alive and well here. Today we got to do something we've never done before, and that is we went to a motorcycle. We talked a little bit about going to a motorcycle show, but a big part of that motorcycle show was the car boot sale / flea market, jumble, whatever you want to call it. But they had set up probably a dozen people had brought out their vans and had brought out little tables and set out objects de art and memorabilia going back 50, 60, 80 years. The one guy had just boxes of Manx newspapers from the 50s and 60s that were yellow and they were legit.
Mm-hmm.
For £2 a pop, you could see what the news of the day was. And to me, I really wish, retroactively, I wish I would have got one because they pack light and easy and you can ship them.
Mm-hmm.
And easy to take home. But I was just reading the front page of one that I stopped and looked at. And it is fun to read something that was written in 1959 because it is the story, it's the news of the day on the island in addition to the race.
But did you also notice that all these people selling stuff were very fair? Like
Oh.
the coin that
Oh,
is
the
no longer
prices,
available with
Right.
the motorcycle
Right.
on it, I was like, oh, this is going to be $50.
No,
She goes, a pound.
it was a 50-cent coin and they were selling it for £1.
Yeah.
But anybody else would be like, oh, well, that's a giant markup. Hold on. It's unobtainium.
Yeah.
So the coin doesn't exist in their currency system anymore. It's a discontinued coin, but it's one of the only pieces of currency on planet Earth that actually has motorcycles racing on it.
Motorcycle, yeah.
And it's part of their currency. The island has its own currency. And if you come here with dollars, they will give you Manx pounds.
Mhm.
They'll give you Manx currency. And if you come here with English pounds and you're getting change, your change can be a mix of English pounds and Manx pounds.
Mhm.
And they're tied together. But the Manx pounds don't spend anywhere else.
Nope.
So you take them home for souvenirs because they're cool and they have a picture of that Lafard that with a Fred Felter goat on it with all the devil horns, the satanic goats that we see everywhere.
Yeah.
But they have pictures of that, and they have pictures of Manx cats with no tails, and they have pictures of ravens
And the birds with
and
the
castles,
the
Tricycle.
right? The
Yeah.
Triskelions,
Yep.
and so we have all this cool stuff. So like the richness of the experience is not just the racing, and it is the people, it is the currency, it is the moving around and just being there.
Another thing I noticed today at that motorcycle show.
Right.
So even when I'm with Summit and I go to these big car shows,
Mhm.
a lot of times you go up to a really cool car or something like that, and the guy has no fucking idea what's in it. He bought it for a
Sure.
check.
Right.
Every single person we talked to today told us about their bike.
The
German
guy with the Horrocks
the Horrocks.
was a fucking
I filmed
hostage
him.
taker.
He fucking
I'm
told
glad
me the
you
whole
filmed him.
story.
That dude was a hostage taker. He was so happy, and his English was amazing.
He was, because he was deep German. He
Deep
was
German,
deep
and his
German.
English was fantastic, and he was just thrilled to flex on you.
Yeah.
He was like, "Oh, not
Well,
only."
he also had a Benelli say.
He did.
which didn't suck.
No, and he could
The
tell
fact
that
the two bikes that he brought were a Benelli
Horse,
6-cylinder
freaking Benelli set.
and a Horax, which is basically like that's right, folks. You heard me say it right. Horax. It's from the land of Dr. Zeus, and it is just one of these motorcycles that shouldn't fucking
well,
exist.
and here's the thing.
Yeah.
210 of them were made,
Right.
and they spent $21 million making them, and
Right.
they stopped making them.
So each bike,
$120,000, but they only sold them for 20.
right?
So they're
They
basically
lost $100
unobtainium.
grand on every bike.
Right.
The bikes are
He
unobtainium,
didn't make it up in volume.
and they did not make it up in volume. And here's the best part: is when you break it, you can't fix it.
Well, no, this is the other thing he told
Yeah.
us. You're absolutely right, but
Yeah.
because there's so few, and at this point crashes and stuff, there's less than like 100 or
Yeah.
whatever. He said the community is so tight
Oh yeah.
that everybody that has them around the world is sucking up every part they can find.
Right.
But then they treat it as a community.
Yes.
So like if your
wow.
buddy needs whatever, you're not like, oh, that's $20,000 because there's
Exactly.
one you're like, oh, dude, let's get your bike running, and
Right.
they sell it to him for what they pay. And he's like, it's a
Wow.
real cool
Well,
community.
he
like
said
that.
it was a registered nonprofit.
Not yeah,
Correct.
registered
What?
That
nonprofit.
goes way beyond just
Yeah.
a group.
Yeah.
They
Whoa.
registered it. So,
So
they
this,
sell
for
it.
people who don't know about Germans, if you own a Heinkel motor scooter,
Mhm.
many of these statements that you just heard are true, because Heinkel built bombers. They also built the first jet-powered German aircraft, right? So Heinkel has kind of a checkered past. Like, hey there, buddy. Hey there,
How you
Heinkel.
doing?
How you doing, Heinkel?
Are we
What
good
you build
Heinkel
now?
or bad Heinkel?
Right. So with Heinkel, there is a Heinkel Owners Group. And the Heinkel Owners Group produces their own Heinkel magazine. And their own Heinkel magazine, their own club. And when I was restoring my Heinkel, I could call them, and any nut, bolt, or screw on the Heinkel, they would say, well, that part doesn't exist anymore. Because that part doesn't exist anymore. However, we have got Klaus over there who has access to a machine shop, and Klaus is making those parts. And we've got Heinrich over here with his machine shop, and he's making those parts. And we've got, Hans Gruber over here at the Nakatomi Tower, and he's making these taillight assemblies, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So that does not shock me that Horax is doing that, because that's a very German thing.
Mm-hmm.
To say, like, this is our thing, this is our product, this is something we love, and we're going to keep it alive as long as we can. And that's really not something that we see too much in our community, where they're just like, yeah, that's obsolete. They don't have those anymore.
Well, especially the bike was a 2013.
Yeah.
So it's not that old, but it's still kind of amazing. It had 3 cams
It is a triple cam bike.
with weird pistons.
Really
It's-
weird.
In my personal experience, it is very much like the Minch Mammoth.
Okay.
It is
Yeah.
too chunky.
Yeah.
Right. It is
Well, it's
too
not
chunky.
a looker in any possible way.
It literally looks like the woman who brings you the beer steins at Oktoberfest.
And then it had like the,
Right?
the American
just as strong.
digital camo.
Yes, it had digital
yeah,
cam.
yeah.
That was-
Because
Well-
Digicam was very popular in 2013.
Yeah.
And on your one-of-a-kind $120,000 motorcycle, Digicam seems like a great idea.
Yeah.
He also said that, like, with that group, whatever that
yeah.
community, they have enough parts for 20. He goes, we have enough parts, we think, for all the bikes for 20 years. He's like,
20 yeyears.
He goes, after that, I don't know.
As long as we get the oven.
Yeah, right.
Right. If we drive just 5,000 kilometers per stunde, it'll be okay.
That's
You're
right.
like, wait, 5,000. Nobody drives that many miles, right? They're
Yeah, right.
5,000 kilometers per yada, and you're like, nobody drives classic motorcycles 3,500 miles a year. People drive classic motorcycles 500 miles a
30
year,
miles a year.
300 miles a year. Yeah, but it's the Germans,
Yeah.
right? They ride, they go do things. It
But
was
also,
fun.
after the hostage taking, he did give us homemade liquors.
He did give you guys liquor, which
Yeah.
was beautiful, which
With
is
their
also
own,
very
like, little
German.
stamp on it.
He's like, we make our own Jägermeister.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Really
whatever
good.
that other one
Right.
It
was.
was really good.
It was really
There
good.
was what did we say? The one was
Apricot
apricot schnapps.
Or, yeah, schnapps.
Apricot schnapps, and the other one was definitely a Jägermeister alternative.
That guy was
But that
awesome.
was great. I mean,
Yeah.
that guy's super cool, and he's having the full Manx experience here. He's
Yeah.
got a weird motorcycle, and he's setting
Well,
up.
so the weirdest thing is, I'm like, that was weird.
That's
right?
weird.
There were 2 Horaxes
Yeah.
at the show.
There was
No.
another one.
Yes,
I got
there
them
was
both.
another one there.
That guy was less vocal, but
Yeah, but like that first guy who had the say.
Well, why not? There were 65 H2s.
That's right.
Right?
But yeah, no,
Right. There were
literally,
16
like,
gammas.
a row and a half over.
Right.
There was, like,
TGs everywhere, and
I didn't know what this was when I saw it. I
Right.
talked to that guy, and I
Right.
know all about it. I looked back at the other, I was like, That's another one.
Well, the second guy didn't speak English.
Right, yeah, probably.
Yeah, the first guy had a collection of face tattoos and spoke perfect English.
It was wild.
Right,
Oh,
that guy was
his
great.
ear tattoo
Yeah,
made
yeah.
me jealous. It was kind of like
He was good.
industrial techno
He was
fucking
cool.
ear tattoo.
Oh, you know damn well in 1992 he was all like,
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Last week he was.
He's at the culture centrum.
That dude has leather pants that are not related to
That's
motorcycling.
you're right.
That's right.
Yeah, that's right.
Boots and pants and
Yeah, Bauhaus knows him.
Yeah,
That's
they were cool, man.
It
They
was
were
super
cool.
it was super fun.
Everything, the racing, the people, the displays, walking around the island,
Yeah.
the weather. Most of the time you're at an event and it starts to drizzle and you're like, "Fuck this rain," right?
Right.
But on the island you're like, "Oh, it's raining."
Right.
That's nice. It's like a new thing. Like you're not even mad about
Shut your
it.
damn mouth.
Yeah,
When Oscar and I were here,
Oh,
we were
that's
wet
different.
internally and externally
Yeah.
at the same time.
That's a downpour. What we've
Because-
experienced so far has just been gentle.
Oscar and I stood in the rain for
You
many
that'll change
hours.
tomorrow. Don't worry.
Okay.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, we stood in the rain for so many hours waiting for the Isle of Man version of the weather god
Yeah.
to just be like, well,
There you go.
they've suffered enough,
Right.
right? And there was like the Isle of Man, whatever the Norwegian Dick Goddard is, right, has smiled upon us
Yep.
this particular week. It's been epic.
That being said, you don't need to bring shorts.
No, you don't. No, it's August. It's late August,
Yeah.
and we saw children swimming
Oh,
in
yeah.
Peel, and so in the ocean at Peel, there were
blue
children.
Yeah.
Yes, small blue children swimming in
Children
Peel.
don't feel
They're a bit
temperatures.
chill.
apparently.
Hey, if there's an ocean, a British person's going to go into it
Yep.
because you only go to the shore once, right?
Yeah.
And it's late August, so the water should be as warm as it could possibly be.
But
Kind
that,
of-
I was tempted.
it does get windy though. It was
I have
even at
zip-ups.
night you can hear the wind whistling.
Yeah,
and we're
it's-
not at the
Yeah.
top of the
Yeah, we're
mountain,
low.
so
Yeah, it's a fun spot to be. We
Yeah.
really enjoyed it. We got to go to a distillery, and so I've been on something like maybe 23 or maybe 2,400 distillery tours, right? I've done them all. I'm certain of it. But I love it when we go to a distillery tour, and the guy who's running the distillery tour has been leading the distillery tour for 3 months, but he's been a bartender there for a while.
He's been there a year total.
He's been there, and so he's running the distillery tour, and he immediately, when we go back into the distilling room, he gives us the whole Viking history, the Celtic history, the Scottish history, the Roman history. He gives us the full deal, right? And that was great, and he's super on the money, and he's plying us with alcohol, and every time he turns around, we're stealing more of it because pirate. The rules are rules, and we go into the distillery and he points out the barrels and he's like, well, you know where these come from, right? And he's like, Heavenly Hill, Kentucky. Heaven Hill. And we were like, well, there you go. Took that tour. I know you've taken that tour, right? And so their little distilling operation is really fun. It's a really cool thing. And they got beautiful artwork and their stuff doesn't taste bad. Which you can't always count on that. And I was really impressed. And I was like, how on earth are they possibly making this work? Because they have to be losing a lot of money on every $40 artwork bottle of hooch that they're selling.
Mhm.
Sorry, 40 pounds. And then we saw the Bushies boxes. And on this island, Bushies is Coca-Cola.
They're a brewery.
Bushies is the Manx brewery that has their name on our damn thing. In the museum that we were in today, there is an entire Bushies display.
Did you read the thing about?
The TT condoms?
Yeah.
Yes. So like this is a museum where there's going to be children, and at a low level where children can see in the Bushies corner of the museum because they got to pay the freight. Bushies is obviously giving them a lot of money, but for the money they're giving them, they demand on having a 2x6 glass case of Bushies TT party memorabilia.
Yep.
And there were not 1 but 4 Bushies condoms.
Right. To protect what?
And then they had a giant handwritten sign that looked like a child did it that said like good in the pits,
Yeah.
right? And a bunch of rude things on this orange sign about Bushies condoms.
Yep.
And I was like, classy. Keeping
Yeah.
it classy, Bushies.
And it was like 17 feet from the play area.
Build your own motorcycle out of wooden
motorcycle
parts.
cool
Yes,
thing, and like
exactly.
the kid playground that's shaped like a sidecar.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean,
But
and the
then
kid
again,
comes up and
right.
he's like, "Mommy, do Bushy's condoms work?" And she's like, "No, son.
No, they're not.
They
Sure
don't.
evidence, yeah.
That's why you're here."
No, they're not.
Because
Well,
in 2019, decisions were made at the back of the Bushy's Fun Fair, and that's where you came from, son. And Bushy's condoms don't work.
Well, but
For
one
what
of
it's
the things
worth,
that
that's a
that
very-
represents is that there's a willingness to accept and address social issues
Yeah.
in the UK that we don't have in the US.
Oh, yeah, right.
We look the other way.
Right.
We're
Absolutely,
hypocritical.
and that's a
we're,
very
you know,
European and continental
Well, I mean,
perspective,
this
which
whole-
is that like sex is far less taboo
Right.
on the continent, and
Sure.
I think even in Europe, even in England, although there's a spectrum.
Can we concede, though, that the Bushy's condom display doesn't belong in the playroom?
Yeah, probably.
Okay, fair
you
enough.
know,
That's
you
good.
can believe it's another 10
But you
feet
don't see,
long.
but, you know,
But can I
there's
get-
not as much violence on.
Can I get a
like,
concession
media.
though that
Right.
this entire island is very hands-on?
Yeah.
Everything is like, oh yeah, you can touch that.
Of course you can touch that.
What do you mean?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
The
Well,
little
that's
rope
one of the
there,
kind thing right there.
We'd appreciate if you didn't step on the thing,
Right.
but if you would
It's
like
also
to touch
very
it.
DIY.
Oh, 100%.
Also,
Society
haven't
here.
seen a shit ton of cameras.
No, not a lot.
Yeah,
Right.
that's
Traffic
a good question. I
cameras
don't know.
and-
I haven't
No,
know.
it's like I've been around London in the past short while. I've been around
Right.
a lot of the rest of the UK, and nowhere around here is a camera on a stick.
Well, that's because when we're not here, everybody knows each other.
Right.
Fair enough.
All the cameras would be like, "What's Jimmy doing out? He's
You
usually
can't
home
use
on
facial
Tuesdays."
recognition with a
Yeah.
bunch of people you've never seen before.
True. That's fair.
Oh, look, what's the heat map of these idiots? Oh, they went to this
Right.
place where everybody else goes, and then this place
Yes,
everybody
exactly.
else goes. Like,
Well, we have seen the same exact people at least 9 times this trip.
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
sure.
And that's the part thing about it being sort of undersold.
Did you guys get that at the TT?
Yeah. No.
Oh,
So
we
at the
did,
TT,
like, at
you
the
did?
TT. Oh yeah. We ran into the same like random Czech people like 4 times.
Oh, you did.
Oh yeah.
A couple of them,
We had
but
a
not,
couple
but not
of
as
people.
much as we
No,
had this
yeah,
time
fair enough,
around.
not as much.
But yeah.
But even still.
But here, I've run into the same person 7 times.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It's
I
been 7
found it-
days. I've run into the same people 7
I
times.
found it really interesting that
Right.
whenever we travel together,
Right.
like you are usually the only like, oh yeah, I own a store. 90 times, every time I saw you talking to some guy, it would be another guy that was like, oh, I own this and I did that, and you guys were all in the same. It was crazy how many people that
Right.
do this for a living are also here.
There are a ton of people here. We've met a lot of people that are at the owner level.
Right,
Right. There are people that are like, oh, yeah, I liked it so much I bought the company.
right.
Right. And that's not uncommon here.
Or the one guy you talked to
Right.
that ran the.
He ran Bonhams.
Yeah.
So he ran Bonhams auctions for 10 years.
that was
Yeah.
pretty funny.
Right.
'Cause
That was-
And he's a
he
really
came
fun
up-
guy.
Like we're talking to those guys, and he's
Right.
like, "Oh yeah, I'm from LA," and he's heavy British accent.
Yeah,
And I
absolutely.
turn around, I go, "Yeah, your accent sounds like." it."
Right. Yeah,
And
exactly.
he goes, "Well, I don't live there now." Well, I'm from here.
Right.
And I'm like, oh yeah, okay.
Yeah.
'Cause I thought he was being sarcastic.
I did
like,
too.
yeah. He's like, "Oh yeah, we live in LA," with like
Right.
this heavy Midlands accent,
Right.
and I was like, "Yeah, you sound it."
You do sound
And
it.
he goes,
Yeah.
"Well, I
Yeah.
moved away."
Right. He was like, yeah, I was there for 20 years. And like his son was clearly an
American.
LA,
Yeah, absolutely.
American son.
But
So
you know what? We're,
yeah.
we're doing a good showing. Like today, we had 5 guys in leathers that were walking. We were kind of conjoining, and they needed to go somewhere, so we allowed them to
right,
go.
let him go.
And then they all started laughing. They go, "Can you believe it? Americans let us go first." So we're representing properly.
Yeah.
For
And so if anybody, you know, has ever been here, you know that the one item that you'll see in 9,000 of while you're here is a red baseball cap with a triskelion on it. It's the 3-legged symbol. And that's
It's that hat, but in red.
It is that happen in red. That's right. And so we were in a little adorable little shop by the Laxey Wheel, a little charity shop. And so we're in this little charity shop, and this woman that's running it is just, she's amazing. And I'm buying like tea cozies and shit, and because it's a charity shop. And
Well,
so,
they're tea cozy. That is the map of the island of Man.
of course,
So it's not
right,
a bad
it is.
one. Yeah.
And so it's a really great place, and all the stuff's really cool. And they don't have like a bunch of Chinese gear they're trying to pawn off, you know. And it's definitely not Disney. The stuff's very affordable. And so I was like, oh man, I'd love to buy a Manx hat, but you know, in America I can't wear a red hat right now.
Right.
And she goes, all right. She goes, we haven't sold a red hat here in ages. She's like, we haven't sold.
had one.
She's like, we
They
haven't.
had a lot of others.
That's what
Only
she
one
says.
red one.
We haven't sold a red hat to an American here in ages. And it was like, oh, that's right, because it is true that there is a biker culture.
Yeah.
But the part of the biker culture that comes to the Isle of Man is not the part of the biker culture that goes to Sturgis necessarily.
No.
And where's the red
Right?
hats?
And that's the interesting thing. And when, kind of when we're here, sometimes when we're here, there's, different political things are happening. And we have had this beautiful respite.
Yeah.
Like if you don't turn on the freaking news, if you don't look at your phone, these folks that live on this island are insulated because no matter what happens in Russia, Ukraine, Iran, the United States, Mexico, no matter what happens, life on this island has been ultimately the same for thousands of years.
That's what freaked me out is the tangible history. I've never experienced that so much. I mean, I've traveled the world, but this is the first place where like you're looking at a wall that's next to a gas station.
Correct.
So that doesn't register, and then you're like, oh, that wall is 900 years old.
Yes.
And so you're touching it, and you're like, it's a 900-year-old wall
I'm about
next to an Esso station.
I'm going to freak you out right now. I'm going to tell you something, and then it's going to click, and you're going to be like, fuck. You have not seen a single billboard since you've been here.
Right. You're absolutely right.
There has not been a single billboard.
Mm-mm.
There is not the
No
pervasive
neon, no
advertising that you're used to seeing. There's no illuminated neon advertising.
Tell them about cigarettes.
Oh god.
Cigarettes are kept in a gray vault behind the counter, and the people that are there don't know what they are or how to use them.
Well, nobody knows what hot tobacco is.
They have there's a whole drawer for hot tobacco. They showed me the pouch of what hot tobacco is, and I still can't understand it. And the entire package is a warning. The entire front, back, sides, top, and bottom of the package is a warning. Nowhere on this package will you see the word Marlboro appears right here in about what I would call 4-point font.
Yeah.
With the word Marlboro Touch, which is alone enough to make you not want to smoke it. Because it says touch.
Yeah.
Right? And they're hard to get. And so the Altacockers around here, they roll their own because tobacco's expensive. And when I went in and I said I've now been into 5 or 6 shopkeepers, and I've walked in and I said, I'd like a pack of Camels. And they're like, oh, you smoke cigars? And I was like, no, I want a pack of Camels. You'd like a packet of Camels. And then like, yeah. And they reach into the bottom drawer. They're like, oh, they're in the bottom drawer, And they pull the bottom drawer out, and there's nothing in the bottom drawer except for cigars. And these are just nondescript military gray-looking drawers because there is not 1 square centimeter of cigarette advertising on this freaking island. It's amazingly refreshing.
Yeah.
We noticed today when we were looking at some images of the island 60, 80, 200 years ago that the only thing that changes is the shape of the vehicles in the parking lot.
Right.
Because the building is the same. The signage on the building is the same. The only difference is at some point there's horses in front of them, and at some point they have wings on the back of them, right?
See, I wonder some of the farmhouses we've done, if that's not like the 12th generation that's lived
Sure.
in that house.
Why
something,
not?
You know?
Why
It's
not?
like some of those farmhouses are so old, it's insane.
On the train, on the electric rail, we did see the only Manx hillbillies we've ever seen because they had like 7 Nissan Patrols up on blocks in the back. And I was like, well, hillbillies are going to hillbilly no matter where you are. The rest of everything looked gorgeous. Every backyard we looked into from the train looked better than my backyard.
What about the guy? Did you see the dude when on the train we're going? He had a Marshall stack, a full Marshall stack, with the screen door where he could just open the screen door and play to the ocean
and blast his guitar to the ocean. Yeah, it's a really, really cool island.
Yeah,
and it's one of those things I don't think you can come here without fantasizing about living here.
Well, I was gonna say, oops, I lost my passport.
Right,
Phil.
right.
Damn, can you give my wife my best?
Yeah, we were.
I love her, but
and we were talking to our guide that his school, he went to school in Ramsey, and that the Ramsey school has all the students in it from the adjoining areas going all the way down to Laxley, right? So they all have to use the electric rail or the bus or whatever. And the bus used to be free, and it's the same bus, by the way, that everybody else uses, right? They don't have little yellow school buses here. You're not going to see that. the children use the same public transportation as the rest of the public because that's a fucking novel concept that hasn't landed in America yet because we have shitty public transportation.
Right.
But here the public transportation is excellent. That bitch has Wi-Fi, right? There's no reason to not be on the bus.
Yeah.
And they said for kids it's 10 pence.
Oh.
Or free if you're poor.
Wow.
Yeah.
Right? But he said that 1,000 kids come to his school. Now that's the whole school.
Right.
Right? But that's a really cool thing. Like that's a really, really neat thing that all the kids gather in Ramsey. That's where the schools are. And that, you know, growing up here and being a teenager here, yeah, that's not like being a teenager in Chicago. Right? It's just not. It's a different environment.
Well, the rebels here can gather in hallways adjacent to museums.
We did find
We found the teenagers.
I think we accidentally stumbled upon the only troublemakers in Douglas.
All 4 of them.
They were all 4.
And they were still dressed very well.
They were dressed very nice, and they were in a back corner of a public parking lot in the back corner staircase that nobody would ever use.
Right.
And they were vaping. And they were vaping, and then we came up that staircase. And I think we were the first people to go up that staircase in ages. That's been their little hide for a long time. And then there was a tall troublemaking looking girl
coming toward
on her way to them to join up with them, and she had like stickers on her face of stars and whatnot.
And a fresh tank of
vape juice, exactly. And she was on her way to join her little gaggle, and that was the only point ever I was like, now those are the kids I expect to steal my phone out of my car.
Right.
So I realized I forgot my phone in the car, and I went back, and not only did I retain the phone, I retained the whole car.
Yeah.
I moved the whole car to a different
But
location.
see, but that proves that sometimes a situation, not the people, make you rethink, because these were the sweetest looking little, like they weren't like troublemaker looking kids.
Oh hell no!
It was just the activities that they were doing. Yeah.
Oh, these children were 1%ers.
Yeah.
Right. They were the upper crust. Right.
Yeah, they weren't playing with knives
Right.
or anything.
Yeah,
It was just,
yeah.
They were just sitting and
they were the
vaping
top. They were the
They
top
had their
1%.
faux depression all on.
Yeah, they did. Yes, they did.
Yeah.
But it's just fantastic. It's really cool.
Yeah.
And so I do recommend it. You know, obviously, if you're listening to our podcast, you're one of the people listening to our podcast already. Plus, we make these friends like Chris Peters, like Chris who came out.
Well, yeah, I've been talking to Chris for almost 4.5, 5 years.
Right.
Almost every day.
Sure.
Through the podcast, and we got to be friends, and so we go back and forth, and it's like his wife's a farmer, so I see all the farm pictures, and I feel like and so it was to me it was just great to meet him. That was so fucking cool.
It was really fun. And then meeting all the folks that are like, oh, what do you do? And we're like, oh yeah, we do a radio show, and it's just this whole thing. And when you are here, you understand, like, oh, okay, sometimes living in America that we can feel like, oh, as non-Harley Davidson identifying motorcycle riders, right? When people are like, oh, are you a biker? And you're like, well, I'm fuck. Oh, what the fuck?
I like motorcycles.
I'm a motorcycle enthusiast.
Yeah.
Right?
That's a good way of saying it.
Yes, that's exactly right. I'm a motorcycle enthusiast. So you're not a biker. No, you're not a biker. Now here though,
you are.
We're all bikers. Everybody's a biker.
But you know what was interesting? Right. I really enjoyed seeing...
There's 9 Harley Davidsons on this island, by the way.
Well, that's what I was going to get to. But like, it was interesting to see some of the guys, some of the Europeans, especially some of the Germans and stuff, that kind of have adopted some of the American biker look.
Oh, you
but
mean...
they're on Suzuki's. Yeah, they'll have a cut or like the straight...
Well, there was the Harley today that had the giant agricultural tires on the front and the back of the sidecar rig and a bunch of questionable stickers, right?
Yeah.
And he's got his thing, right? But he came here and there's a dude running around on a Porsche Gulf livery colored Pro Street style bike.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it looks like it's a Hesse Hames or whoever the local version of a bad bike builder is.
Yeah.
Right?
Remember the Arlen Ness kid?
Yeah, there's been no shortage of fucking Arlen Ness jackets.
Yeah.
I will say that
I've seen a lot more Arlen Ness jackets than I've seen anything Arlen Ness ever breathed on with an engine in it.
That's right.
I have a feeling that like they didn't sell in America, so they were like, I can get this jacket for 40 pounds?
Yes.
Like everybody bought them.
That's absolutely true. Yeah, and if you don't think that RST runs the world,
I felt so much better about my tracksuit.
Yeah.
Every dude on the track had an RST
Everybody
suit.
was running RSTs.
And then I went up to the one guy when we were in the pits, right? And I'm like, is that just the RST kangaroo airbag suit? He goes, yep. And I go, damn, all right. But here's what pissed me off. So I paid $14.99 for my stupid white and black one. It was the only one that fit me, and I didn't like the fucking...
You mean the panda suit?
Yeah. So my panda suit cost me $14.99. It's still a great deal with an airbag.
Yeah.
But for £1,499, so what, $350 more?
More.
I could have had the official like TT
The
fucking legit fucking
Colors
so
and
dope
everything,
looking,
yeah.
man.
Yeah.
Ah, maybe
The
man.
blue and orange.
Blue and orange,
Oh,
so
man.
good. But then
So-
I would have had to get it home, so I would have been sitting on the plane.
Wearing your
Right.
leathers.
There's only
Breaking them in. Breaking them in.
Yeah.
there's
Yeah,
only
right.
a couple.
The
Before
airbag doesn't go
security.
off.
Right.
Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Can you please
Right.
take out the airbag? No.
No, I can't. Poof, poof. That's it. Fall down out of the bathroom in the plane and just inflate your suit.
Or the air, the height makes
Oh,
it
the
pop. You're
elevation.
just sitting there.
You become the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
Yeah.
The,
Dog in the
I'm sure the guy sitting next to
Yeah.
you love it.
Yeah.
too, right?
Yeah.
There's like when Oscar and I were here, there were 2 companies that were allowed to sell things that had the word TT on them or Isle of Man. So there were 2 companies, and you could easily tell them because if it said the word TT on it, then it was one company, and if it said Isle of Man or Snaefell Mountain Course, then it was the other company. And both of them had quality goods, and both of them were priced very, very fairly, regardless of where you were. If you were in the airport, it was a $39 hat. If you were on the high street, it was a $39 hat, whatever it was, right? And I'm saying
Everything was
$39
fairly
hat. It
priced.
was like 10
Well,
pounds.
yeah.
Right,
Dude,
about
the
10
jackets
pounds.
me and Oscar got,
Yeah.
that's a $150 jacket at
At
home, and it
least.
was 40 pounds.
Right.
Or
Is that the
49
exact
pounds.
same jacket as Marshall got, but paid
No,
twice
no,
as
no,
much
that's
for it?
different. We're talking like
Shut your dirty mouth.
we did we did save quite a bit on that. No, but the jackets
Marshall bought his jacket exactly 1 day later.
Yeah,
Well,
50% off.
The trick is, I was freaking cold.
It was cold.
I was like, so I consider my purchase insulative
Yes.
for that first day and a
Did you-
half, and I'm okay with that.
Did you see how happy that lady was? So I went in there because you guys were getting the fish and chips.
Right.
I walk over to that store and I'm snorting around and I'm like, does that say 40% off or 50% off?
50% off.
I was like, all this stuff 50% off? She goes, yeah. I'm like, even this thing that my friend just bought yesterday was 50% off. She goes, yeah. And I go, I'll tell you what. I'm like, thank you very much. I will be sending you 6 more people. And she goes,
Oh, yeah.
uh-huh.
Oh,
and
yeah.
then 5 minutes later, you guys were all, and she goes, and she just gave me the thumbs up.
So
she said to me, she goes, because you paid full price, like, because I was talking to her after
Right.
this, she's like, because you paid full price for this 2 days ago, and I feel bad for you, I'm gonna give you something cool. And then she like pulled all the change out of her till,
Right.
and let me like pick which of the cool Manx coins I wanted, and traded me out for all of them. And
yeah.
then she gave me the paper Manx 1 pound.
Oh,
that
yeah.
You
can't
got a
get
1
anymore.
pounder, man.
Yeah. She was like, here, you can have this.
Oh,
And I was
she's
like,
so
"Aw,
sweet."
That was
That's
so
pretty
nice.
cool.
She was
was
awesome.
And then she offered to go home.
With
and-
you?
she said if you're
4
staying,
pounds.
she's like, because I wanted the Mike Halewood 50 pence piece.
Sure, right.
And she's like, I don't have one. She thought she had one in the till.
Right.
She's like, oh, she looked.
Yeah.
But she's like, no, I don't have one. But I think I have one at home. You come tomorrow, I'll bring it.
I'll bring
And
it.
I was like, that is the sweetest thing I've ever heard.
They're
But
very
we're,
sweet.
We're in Douglas. So.
Yeah.
They're very sweet. I mean, it's that's kind of been the consistent theme. Is just everybody here has just been freaking amazing. The so that's a tip too. If you're here, wait until the day of the racing stops. So the day that the racing stops, now that might not be scheduled to be the day. Like if the race is supposed to stop on August 3rd, weather conditions prevail. If they say like the racing's supposed to stop on August 2nd or 3rd. No, if they're going to have the championship, they're going to give out the awards and the trophies 4 days, 5 days before that. That is the day the racing stops, and all the vendors will close up and go home.
Yeah.
They're not going to say, we paid to be here for the 11 days or 12 days. We're going to get all 12 days. They're going home.
But
And so-
I mean, you haven't shared, like, with
Right.
for those listening,
Right.
normally,
Right.
at this point during the week, we'd still have 2 days of potential
2 days
racing.
of racing,
Yeah.
absolutely.
But I think you hinted at it, but
Right.
because of the weirdness with the weather,
Right.
they decided to just take all the contingency periods. They did this, when is it, Saturday?
Make hay while the sun shines.
Sunday.
And so
Right.
they just said, that's it.
Yeah.
We're not going to stretch this out and hope.
Right.
We're going to put all the racing on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday.
Well, because the forecast was very clear for the end of this week that
Right.
it was
That's
going
right.
to be raining.
But this is the first time they've done that.
And that's why
very unusual.
You should be aware. You can't take it for granted when you look at the schedule ahead of time. Now, why is this a problem? Well, there are companies like Duke Travel, and Duke is kind of everything here. And so you can book a Isle of Man adventure with Duke Travel that will be the most consolidated. You've got money, but you don't have time. 3-day travel. Come to Duke. Just go to the Duke website. Spend $5,000, and they're going to fly your ass in. They're going to pick you up in a nice van. They're going to take you to a nice hotel or a nice Airbnb. They're going to give you these VIP seatings that we've seen at many of the corners. These areas that you're only allowed to go in if you're a Duke VIP travel member.
You won't miss them.
And they're going to drive you around.
And they're going to drive you around to all of them, at your beck and call. And that's a pretty great experience. Do it consolidated. Spend 3 days instead of 12. Right? Cool. Except for the fact that Duke does that on the 3 last days of the event where the seniors championships are. Those are the big races everybody cares about. They're consolidated. They're happening all the time. It's a big deal. You're there for the money shot. But here's what happens. When the weather is this way, when the weather forecast is bad for those days, they are now going to clip those days and move those days up in the schedule. So move the entire schedule so nobody misses a race. All the races are happening, but they're happening. They're sacrificing the Mad Sunday. They're sacrificing the Sunday day of rest when we're not running. They're sacrificing the morning when they normally don't run to let people go to work who live here. They're pushing it all together so the racing is tighter over the days that you have good weather. Now, what I've seen is that people are furious that paid $5,000 for the Duke travel experience of coming in here on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Because Wednesday was yesterday. There was no racing.
Nope.
Right?
Yeah.
Today is Thursday and Friday. There's not one fucking motorcycle running around there on a one-way course that's that you can watch. And the people that paid the $5,000 are freaking furious.
But on the other hand, it was amazing for us.
Exactly.
We consolidated because
we didn't have to stand around and not watch racing when the sun was burning us down, and then wait until the rain was coming in or having it be canceled. And like we did, it just didn't exist.
For the locals who own restaurants and the vendors and whatever, or even the hotels, right? Sure. I mean, a lot of the racers and whatever, they're left, they're gone. They're gone. Right? And so, I mean, there is certainly going to, it'll be interesting to see how this all shakes out.
Yeah, there'll be a vacuum for sure.
There's an economic impact here, right? Because when you spread it out over those days, a lot, we're going to hang out and do cool other Isle of Man stuff, but a lot of people didn't, and those people are
and when Oscar and I were
lunch,
here,
they're not buying dinner,
When we were here, it was very much like, okay, the Tuesday event is going to be, this is going to be the juniors, this is going to be the seniors, this is going to be whatever, and it's the TT, so there's a lot more stuff happening because it's all the modern stuff, right? Mm-hmm. And that's where everybody's going. There's a lot more racing scheduled during that same time frame. This is a more relaxed schedule. But with us, we're like, okay, well, the sun's shining right now. It's a damn shame nobody's on the track, or the track's even being a thing, because on a normal racetrack, you can say, okay, well, fuck it, call the boys in early from lunch, send them in. Yeah. Whereas in this place, if you stop Billy Joe from getting in his, Kia Placenta, right, it can take an hour to get from point A to point Z. And so stopping the traffic really is a kind of a big deal. It's an orchestrated thing. So the marshals have to work together. We've seen them doing it. We've been the people that are heading to a really cool hide. We're heading to a really cool snug spot that we can go watch the races from, Gooseneck in particular. And the clock, we were running against the clock. Yeah. And we were making time. We were boogieing up the hill. We're boogieing up the course. But yeah, we get behind a slow caravan, a slow camper van, and you're like, oh shit, we're going to blow it.
Yeah, because at that minute, it's done.
We slide into our parking spot, and as soon as we get to the track surface, they're moving the gates. And if you're on the wrong side of the gate, I guess you're watching from here.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. And that's how they do it. They shut down a 37.7 mile road.
But for me, this whole thing was perfect because I was so worried about wanting to film things and see things and do things, and we were able to just go full balls motorcycle for 3 days, and now we're experiencing the island.
That's true.
And then we're still doing motorcycle stuff.
Of course.
Yeah. Because all this unexpected
because we're
motorcycle
also,
stuff.
we haven't talked about, today we did motorcycle show, but Saturday we're going to be going to more racing.
Yeah.
So club racing is happening at Jarby.
And motorcycle museums.
At Jarby, we've got on one side of the airport, we got a motorcycle racetrack, and on the other side of the airport, we got the largest transportation museum that Oscar and I will tell you. I'm sure you've been to it too, haven't you?
Incredible, yeah.
It's just a goofy freaking museum.
Yeah. I mean, like,
the shit that's in there should be
weird ass 1950s fire trucks, and then a bunch of TT winning bikes, and then a Peel.
And then look over here, we got a P51D Mustang engine.
Yeah, it's wild.
That runs.
That's right, I forgot about that. That was a cool display.
That's a really cool display.
It's a cutaway, too.
It's a
right?
cutaway.
Radial.
When we got there, it wasn't plugged in, and I was like, look at Oscar, this thing's designed to work.
Yeah.
And I was like,
plugged it
in and hit the button, and the pistons are going down. He was like, this is Motorhead Mecca.
Yeah.
every museum,
Well, the
hilariously,
museum we went to today said, "TT is us."
right.
It
Yeah.
was like, it was really
It's
cool.
the museum of their island culture.
Yeah.
So they go all the way from Norse gods and Celtic gods. And the first Celtic, by the way, if you're one of those people that has a Celtic cross tattooed somewhere on your body, you know who you are. The very first one was ever discovered on this island.
Huh.
And if you're a woman who likes to vote, the very first woman to cast a vote was on this island.
Wow.
Those are kind of important things.
Yeah.
It's kind of neat, right? It's kind of cool. And I always like to learn stuff like that when we travel and we go to cool spots and see cool things, because it's not just a racetrack. Their national museum has a whole, like a floor of it dedicated to TT, because TT is what put them on the map.
It's part of their national identity.
It is definitely part of their national identity. See what not having a speed limit can get you?
Yeah.
I did think it was cool that like the museum. You walk out of the TT thing, and the next room over, there's like the skeleton of a giant deer that's extinct.
Yes.
And the next room over from that,
Yeah.
there are artifacts from 6000 BC.
Yes.
That they've dug up.
Yeah.
Half a mile from here.
And Manx painters that like was unbelievable. Like the light. The first thing when you walk in, this painting, I couldn't stop looking at it because it had a moonlight source and firelight sources, and it really looked like you were staring at a village. And this thing was painted like fucking 800 years or whatever, 500 years ago or whatever. Like, it was insane.
How many days have you been off the weed?
Huh?
How many days have you been off the weed?
Yeah, ask Jim. It was fucking amazing, dude.
500 years.
Oh yeah, for anybody interested, if you're worried about anything like that, as a person that has consumed cannabis for 35 years daily, I've had no issues whatsoever.
I'm gonna say, I was a little worried for you.
I was. I mean,
I
I
was
was
a
more
little worried.
pain.
People are
I'm
like,
not gonna lie about that.
marijuana's not addictive, and I was like, well, we're gonna find out.
You was
Had
worried.
some of that.
Please.
I've done that every time I've come to Europe.
The buses are on.
I didn't even. I'm having so much fun. I didn't even think about it
I
for
haven't
the
either.
first week I was
Right.
here the first time.
Yeah, I haven't really thought about it. Yeah, it was great.
Yeah, it's really interesting. It's because this is our chance. This is our chance to talk about Isle of Man. This is our chance to talk about this kind of a thing. But really, what we're doing is we're doing what we've always done. What Sleepy and I have always done. What I've always done. My whole mission statement is always, I discovered a cool thing, but I want to show you about it too.
Mm-hmm.
I want you to come along and do the cool thing with me. And I will always be the best cheerleader in the world for personal experiences.
Oh,
Right?
man.
Don't save your money. Have an experience.
Yeah, what are you
Right?
gonna do? Die with dollars?
Right. No, that's exactly right.
My last second on this planet, when all that shit's gonna flash back,
Right.
this is gonna get a dedicated section to that.
I
fucking
gotta
last
cross.
flash
I gotta
back.
cross the finish line on 4 bald tires and out of gas.
Yes.
Right. That's the only way to do it. And when we, our little group of idiots, the reason we worked so hard to push like things like Vintage Days is because we had this crazy, crazy fun time. Then we're lucky enough that we have a microphone.
But this, you know what? I'm glad we came to the Manx GP because I think out of the two, this is the vintage. Like the guys that are here from Germany, the guys that are there, if they came to Vintage Days,
Right.
they would just fit in.
Of course.
All these guys.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Like,
100%.
they are us. They're us of here.
This is extraordinarily tribal.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is extraordinarily
I didn't
tribal.
think about that.
And it is certainly the appreciation factor. If you grabbed any person that is like, this is their life. I mean, today we saw a gentleman posing for hours on end in really hot leathers on a 100-year-old motorcycle, just emulating a character of British mythology, right? To be like the punchline to a joke. Right,
but he's brilliant. And
he's brilliant, and he chats to everybody, and he speaks German to the German tourists and stuff like that.
Well, that
and
was a Dutch guy, but the Dutch guy knew German enough that he was able to communicate.
Absolutely, but
and for what it's worth, he's selling an experience. Not selling. He's promoting an experience too.
Exactly.
And now I want to go to Goodwood.
Of course, absolutely.
Right, the Goodwood Revival days.
But can we talk about this guy?
Yeah, I mean,
amazing guy, but I have never seen a human being represent a caricature so perfectly.
Yeah.
Like you were like, oh my god, when you see the caricature, you're like, huh, look at this. He
When I shook
exaggerated
his hands,
everything.
his hands were like
it looks
cartoon
like a
hands.
caricature, but that's what the guy actually looked
I
like.
know his head was this tall.
Oh, this true.
Yeah.
And that's not with the helmet. That added another.
The fella's like 6'4".
Yeah.
Right? He's a tall, lanky fella, but he's got like a grill.
He's got English teeth.
He looks like a '53 Buick.
Yeah.
Right. And he's just freaking. But he was just so personable and so sweet.
Yeah.
And the idea is like that whole thing. That's part of the experience. you know, for people that grew up around British television and movies and stuff, that idea of like the TT has always been there, of being like, oh, our loony neighbor is going to go to the TT this year.
Yeah.
And our loonier neighbor went to the TT 10 years ago, and now he's building a bike to do it on.
Right.
And then there's this long history of being like, oh, if you ride a motorbike and you've got it in your veins, you can't get rid of it. There's an escalation of we're going to the TT or we're reading about the TT. We found 45 RPM record albums today that were highlight reels of the play-by-play and the sounds of the TT that were recorded in 1951. So it was such a thing that people would go to the store and they would buy a 45 RPM record to listen to the sounds of the motorcycles and a play-by-play of the highlights of the TT.
I probably should have bought one of those.
That's 4 minutes on each side, and I kind of kicked myself in the ass for not spending £5 and fucking getting them. Right?
Incidentally, the impersonator, his name is Graham Hardy.
Right.
And so if you don't know, and he's impersonating George Formby.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Sitting on, what's the name of the bike?
A Shuttleworth.
Shuttleworth.
Right. Exactly.
Speed Demon.
Shuttleworth Speed Demon.
Right.
Yeah.
Shuttleworth Speed Demon.
Yep.
And so so he was here, and they were giving out the postcards that have the stamps on it, that have the George Formby commemorative stamps on them.
And that signature on the front is not it's not printed. He
No,
did it.
no,
He draws the little.
and he draws a little cartoon of it on there of the character that he's portraying. But this, when we were here in 2019, this bike was proudly displayed in front of Bushy's Fun Fair, like the crazy concert that they had. But I'd gone by several times because in my deep dive 20 years ago, looking for stuff about the Isle of Man, I happened to wander upon the films. And the films are, of course, they're silly. They're Laurel and Hardy style, right? They're black and white Keystone Cop stuff. But that's how ingrained it is with the folks here.
Dude, that guy's
They've grown
aura.
up around it.
It could have been like, I guarantee you, even some like mean.
And he's
biker-
wearing a freaking 6mm thick pigskin leather suit,
Yes.
top to bottom, and a pudding
Leather
bowl.
hat.
Pudding bowl.
But I'm saying he could turn
Yeah.
anybody. You could go up there being like, "Who's this fucking clown?" And
Oh,
2
no.
seconds later, you'd be like, "Oh, this guy's rules."
Absolutely
Like
charming.
he has
On
that.
a running 100-year-old
But
motorcycle.
you know what?
Yeah.
Going back to a point you made earlier, if that had been in the U.S.,
Right.
I'm sorry to say,
Yeah.
he would have charged you $5 to take a picture with him. He would have
Correct.
charged
That
you
is
for the
true.
postcard.
The autograph.
You're not wrong.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because his handler was going around.
Oh yeah,
handler or
these
whatever, handing
postcards.
those
These are
out.
very nice postcards, and they didn't cost a penny.
They're for free.
And
Yeah.
how about he was like, and my personal emails on the back.
He did.
If you'd like to see the movie,
That's
let
what
me
he said.
email me and I'll send you a
I'll
link.
send
to
you a
it.
link to the movie.
Yeah.
And this is a gentleman sitting on a bike. He's in his 70s. This is what he does for fun. And he's sitting on a 100-year-old motorcycle, and he's having the best goddamn time. And you could tell he really enjoyed it. Now,
I'm assuming he's retired now, but when he started this,
Mhm.
according to the internet,
Yeah.
in 2003,
right?
he still had a day job.
Huh?
You don't know what it was?
I would love to know.
Inspecting Rolls-Royce submarine engines.
Wow.
That makes sense. I don't
I
know why
love,
it makes
I
sense.
love every part of that.
Yeah.
There's not a single word of that I don't love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love every part of that. Now, talking about celebrity, talking about like the experience of going to, and I've done a bunch of MotoGPs, I've done a bunch of motorcycle racing. And what I can tell you is you can't get close to Marc Marquez. If you want to buy the kind of a pass that lets you sit at a picnic table with Marc Marquez, that's going to be like a $5,000
Oh, it's more
triple
way,
VIP
way more
gold-plated
than that.
pass,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
It's going to be something. You better have saved some child somewhere.
And you
right?
better hope
Right.
he won the race and wasn't in a bad mood and didn't show up.
Yeah.
Or just
Yeah.
was there, right?
Yeah.
So I can promise you, if you want to sit down at a table with Valentino Rossi, right, you're going to have to spend at the platinum level and win some contest to spend 3 minutes with Valentino Rossi. But the fastest men on the island,
Peter Hickman,
Hickman, Burchell,
Ben Burchell.
Connor. Wait, not Connor. It was,
John McGuinness,
John McGuinness.
all of them were hanging out with
Douglas.
us at the awards ceremony picnic tables,
Yeah.
Eating ice cream.
eating ice
With
cream,
their families. I mean,
drinking
they're just hanging
beers
It's a
with
family
their
event.
families, hanging out, and this is the point I want to make: that if it was Joan Jett, if it was Billy Joel, if it was Pete Seeger, if it was John Mellencamp, if it was those people,
out. Kobe Bryant. You know.
Kobe
whatever.
Bryant, if it was Michael Jordan,
That'd be a
right?
casket.
If it was Michael Jordan, if it was any
In
of
the
these
day.
people, and they were hanging out at a picnic area,
Mhm.
there would be mobs.
Yeah.
People would be pushing people out of the way to sign my hat, sign my sneakers, sign my tit, whatever.
Yep.
Right? That's what would be happening. And wouldn't you know, we're walking through and he goes, "Oh, that's Bertram."
Yep. Hey, there's Hickman and
Oh, there's
crew.
Hickman.
Hickman right there.
And his
There's
wife.
And I went around and I looked around. I was like, "Oh shit, we want to go up and say something." I went, "No, wait, hold on.
Nope.
I don't want to be that asshole." And then I looked around at 400 other people that had decided culturally,
Yep.
as a tribe, that there was an agreed upon 75 feet rule to give them their space.
Yeah.
They've done an amazing thing. They've given us great joy. They are approachable and sweet when they're in the pits. We talk to them and they're super nice, but this is their time with their family. They've earned it. And so did anybody walk up and do anything other than that's it? That was the
Or
universal.
try and do a selfie.
No,
or,
no,
Yeah.
it was literally
No.
occasionally when
No.
somebody's walking through, you'd see somebody walk up and just give them a little pat.
And actually, it was the other
Yeah.
way around. Ben Birchall got close to the marshals.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
He got close to them
That's
and took
right.
pictures with them because, like, you know what?
they're the
They're
marshals.
part of the thing that makes it
And
work.
you know, we didn't get to
Absolutely.
see this, but we got to see the replay.
Mm.
But like in America or anywhere else, John McGinnis, like they made a little 20-minute documentary about
Sure.
highlighting his whole
Oh,
life,
yeah.
and they debuted it on
Right.
that whole area we were
They
at,
did.
right? And they showed it. They
Yeah.
they had the camera show where he was, what was going on,
Mhm.
and like anywhere else, he'd be on stage
Right.
with like whoever ran the team and like
Right.
whoever paid money, whatever.
Oh, yeah.
He was at a picnic table with his family, surrounded by everybody,
Right.
Getting
and then he was
emotional,
crying, and he
yeah.
stands up, and everybody's just cheering. Nobody
Right.
fucked with them,
Nobody
and it was.
fucked
I was like, oh my god, that was beautiful.
Well, there wasn't a
man. Like,
security team keeping you away from anybody.
no, it was
Because-
respect.
For 100 years, apparently, the rule of this fucking island and this race is ABC, always be cool.
Yeah,
Right?
You're right.
Because
you're right.
there was no security staff around these guys that are the greatest in the world at what they do.
Mhm.
That have people following them around, hey, okay, yeah, I have a John McGinnis signed item. Yep, and I have a Michael Dunlop signed
Yep.
item. And you know how we got them? We went up to the kiosk that their families run,
Right,
that is literally hooked to their van,
right.
that helps them pay their way because this is not $1 million operation.
Oh, and how much did we pay for those signed items?
Yeah, 10 pounds and
Yeah.
20 pounds.
Yeah,
Right. For things that I'm going to have forever that I'm going to cherish. But the idea being that when you are even at that level, these guys have day jobs,
Yeah.
right? And they're out there hustling, and racing ain't fucking cheap.
well, and that whole,
Right.
I mean, when you're at their level too,
Right.
like every time they do this,
Right.
everybody involved has to know that this might be the last time we get to do this.
Well, statistics
You know?
show that if there's 100
Yeah.
really fast guys, and like this particular guy, he's been doing it for 30 years,
Yeah.
and like the rest of Dunlop's family, right? There's a reason there's statues all over this island
Yeah.
of fallen Dunlops.
Oh, that
There's
was
a reason there's a whole Dunlop church.
when we
you
went.
know?
The first thing when we got there, when
Yeah.
we were up at the Victory
Yeah.
Cafe,
Yeah.
when you look at Joey Dunlop's statue, and I filmed all
Right.
this stuff, but then to the left on the wall,
Right.
it's all like the regular people that are.
Yeah, it's the
cast
Soldiers and
tributes
Sailors Monument of
Yeah.
the Isle of Man,
Yeah.
right? Because a lot of people came here and didn't go home.
No,
Because
there's like
doing
little toy
this-
motorcycles that you can see somebody wrote their name
Yeah.
on and stuff.
Yeah.
It was pretty.
Doing this shit is sketch. And it is sketch on the highest level because, as I said earlier, there's no air walls.
Nope.
But there are big stone heavy walls. There are steel metal, there are steel telephone poles that if you hit a light pole on this island, the light poles have existed for 4,000 years. The light poles, I'm convinced, are like old ship's cannons. They just stretched out. Like everything
no
on this
joke.
island is rust proof due to being iron
Well, and
right?
17,000 layers of paint.
and
I'm
17,000
convinced that a
layers.
lot of the things that look big actually started out much smaller.
The whole
It's
island's
just Fortnite. It's just made of Fortnite.
Right, it's Fordite. The whole island started out as drinking straws,
Yeah.
but now it's Fordite. You cut it in half, it looks like a gobstopper.
Yeah.
Right. It's just, it is a weird place. But that respect that's given to all the people
Yeah.
working, and the fact that the guy who's hauling the tires into the paddock gets deference. I saw it. I saw the guy hauling tires in the paddock, and people were like, "Oh, step aside, give this guy some room, right? Let him go through." And the families, the wives, the kids, the moms of these racers are just roaming around, and they're just existing, and they don't need security. They don't need a press box. Oh, freaking! When we're in the grandstands, racers' moms and dads and aunts and uncles are literally sitting the row in front of us.
Yeah.
Well, the first time we came, the first day we watched, we were staying in Ramsey. We were in a park, and I got to talking to this family that was next to us.
Mhm.
This woman and her couple kids and whatever. Turns out she's the Crow brothers' sister.
Yeah.
And like they live in Ramsey, and so she was just they were going to be race that day, so she's just hanging out on the fence with us at this random park in Ramsey.
This is great.
Snacks for her kids.
Another thing to think about. So the 3 days of racing, and then we had on the last day, the racing ended, and then they were doing parade laps.
Correct.
That was cool.
Do not think that a parade lap means that they're going to be going by at 2 miles an hour, going "Hi, hail to the Queen"
with old bikes. Yeah.
There was one gentleman on his parade lap that pulled 131 miles an hour
Okay.
overall.
We have to talk about that.
Yeah.
Because we saw the Marshall's
Dean
bike.
Harrison, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
On a former championship bike,
Yeah.
right? So we saw the parade lap, and you're like, okay, the racing was done for the day, and it's going to be like, we're hanging around for a while, wait for the parade lap. And so, okay, so here comes the first Marshall's bike come through. And you're like, how? And we're like, oh, whoa, well, that is...
No, Morton Herrero, we were at the bridge, so it was like...
Yeah, and so we were like, okay, that is not what we would normally consider parade lap pace.
Yeah.
Right? And so we're like, okay, well, he's putting the screws to it.
Yeah.
And then a few seconds later, another Marshall bike. And we're like, okay. Well, before every race, there's a little thing. And that is that the marshals need to get out to their marshal's post. And they do this with BMW's touring saloons.
Oh, the medic.
No, that's 1,000 RRs.
Hold on.
Wings and all.
There were cars first, boys.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
So there are BMW sedans that are going through at
M series,
M class cars that are going through at near traction loss speeds.
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
And they're drifting through the corners on their way to work.
And it seems like there's more than one person in these.
No, because they're dropping off marshals.
Yeah.
So the car's full of people when it starts. It's a clown car.
Yeah.
But as it travels along at 140 miles an hour, it just dispatches people out to their spots.
Right.
Dive over.
Right. And they like, and they stop. Somebody jumps out and they haul ass. And it's really cool.
Yeah.
So that's the first thing that runs by. And then the second thing that runs by would be the doctors, right? So the doctors on the motorcycles, they go by, and they're also going 160 miles an hour.
Right.
And they're flying through
On S1000
the Ballard Bridge on
yeah.
S1000 Rs. Because, BMW's got this place on lockdown.
Yeah.
It used to be
It used to be Fireblade.
It used to be Fireblades, I'll give you that. And then BMW sponsorship jumped in. And then the Marshall's bikes come by. And then the Marshall guys that are on bikes show up. Those are the highly mobile Marshals that can make it between the spots where the non-mobile Marshals are, if they need to deal with something a little more intense. And like we said, people have died this year. People have had their bikes catch on fire this year. Shit has been hit. Shit has been walked away from. There's been a broken leg. Like, weren't you guys at Craignabaugh when a bike slid into Craignabaugh?
That was at
That was you guys?
Brad and Bridge.
That was Brad and Bridge.
First day.
All right, Brad and Bridge.
A check
So-
rider.
Yeah. That happens.
2 broken legs.
Right. 2 broken legs. And that's why you need marshals there. That's why you need medics there.
Well, that medic was on the scene so fast. And the marshals were already in action.
Mhm.
One was wheeling his bike away
Sure.
from the impact site. The others were getting a backboard down to him and
Right.
getting him moved onto the backboard. The medic was there. I mean, it was so efficient and so
Because
quick.
they need to turn that yellow flag back to a green flag and not into a red flag.
Right.
Because the red flag, we saw a red flag happen while we were at the bottom of the hill here.
Mhm.
And we were 3/4 of the way into a race, and all of a sudden, red flag. There's been an incident.
Done.
And that shuts it down.
Yeah, I like how that's not tell
You
you
can
what.
shut down a 37.7 mile course. If you went into a city and said, okay, show me the lever I can pull that shuts a whole city down. And I'll be like, yeah, it's going to take a week and a half. But this place shuts down a 37.7 mile course with 50 or 60 riders stretched across it. And it shuts it down instantly.
Right now. Yeah.
Right fucking now. And
Five-
so
What? How many? It's 2,000 marshals or something. It's like
the volunteer number, the volunteer count is amazing.
Yeah.
And they're really generous too. So if you do volunteer, they were like, you don't need to live here to volunteer. You just need to be here to volunteer.
Yeah.
So if you know you're going to be here and you sign up to volunteer, your job might be walking out and picking up garbage. Your job might be, as just a visual observer with a radio.
crowd
So-
control
or crowd
setting
control
up
or anything.
fences, Yeah.
Right.
And it can be just the one day. It
It
doesn't
can,
have to be the whole.
Right. You
week.
you can volunteer to marshal here and then you get to do the coolest thing in the world and be like, I marshaled the Isle of Man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The sector leader
Marshall should
at
marshal.
Bratton Bridge was an American guy.
Oh, really?
We could tell him by his accent because he's talking, laughing,
Right.
in between races and things like that.
Going back to the parade lap, I don't know if you noticed this or not, but the gentleman that you were talking to with the sidecar, when he told you that, I'm going to bring this up, we're running it, and the best part is this guy used to be there. He's 90 years old.
He's 90
monkey.
years.
Me and Marshall
old.
are watching, and here he comes, and he goes over the jump. And you see the 90-year-old guy's legs going out the back of the
So
he was planked out on the
He
sidecar.
was swaying like they stuck him there.
At this particular part of the course, the monkey in the sidecar, the passenger of the sidecar, is going to be fully proned out because prior to going across the jump, you're decelerating through a big straight.
Yep.
So you're decelerating through a big straight. There's no aerodynamic reason to be anywhere except flat.
Mm-hmm.
And you're about to go over a jump. So right now you need maximum surface area because you're going over a jump and you're going to hit the ground with no suspension.
On your belly.
Yeah.
On your belly. And if you're on your hands or
And
your
then
knees,
there's
you
a
can get hurt.
hard right-hander right
Yes.
after that, so
Oh,
they'd
yeah.
be
Well,
prone
I
for
was
that
just
as
told,
well.
I'm glad that they had
Right.
him tied down or something. 'cause
They must have been because his feet were in the goddamn
It's like
air.
this, literally going like
90 years old, and I was like, I thought they were weekend at Bernie.
I was concerned.
I
was
thought
like,
he was just strapped in with ratchet straps. And his feet were just.
I'm like, I think your monkey has passed. Oh, dude.
Yeah.
I'm
They-
laughing now because it's okay.
The operator of that rig, who's also not a child,
No.
he
What did
he
you say?
said,
74.
yeah, he's 74, and so he said, I'm going to be doing this on Jarby on Saturday,
Yeah.
and we're going to be letting people take rides in the hack.
Oh,
And I was like,
interesting.
Oscar's
you
in
can
for
sign
it.
up.
I'm in.
oh my god,
If I can, I'll
yeah,
do
if
it.
I can take a lap, if
I'll
I can
do
take
it.
a lap in a vintage BMW
Easy.
sidecar rig and a
I'll be too
kneeler,
busy filming you guys.
I'll be right there. I'm
I
in.
would like to film your last days.
I'll probably make motion sicker and do it anyway.
If they're gonna say like if they're gonna say we're cutting the number of runs, Oscar and I'll go together.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
We'll start
Little
with
big spoon,
five.
little spoon.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
it. That's it. The it was super great. Obviously, if you can tell, we liked it. We had a good time.
Yeah.
We're
And
still
we're not-
having a good
And we're not done
We're
yet.
not
No,
done.
Yeah, we're not done yet.
Yeah, it's a really good
We
time.
have packed in. Here's the thing. I think everybody. We've all had fun. We've all
Yeah.
had personal fun. But everything we've packed in so much every day. We're leaving at 7 in the. If you take this vacation and you want to maximize it, you can do it all day long.
Oh, what did Chris say? These guys flew across the ocean to go to bed.
Well, that's
Well,
good.
here's the thing, Chris. Chris
Yeah,
was out
that
to
was the first day.
Chris was out to the bar till 3:00 in the morning. He's a
Yeah.
fucking animal,
Right.
right? He's an animal. But what I will tell you is that we've had 25,000 steps every day.
Well, not only that, but he's
And-
been here 25 times.
Yes.
I don't want to miss 1 ounce.
You
of-
almost got killed by a rabbit today.
Yeah, well,
Right.
right. And you
Right.
don't want to have that happen.
Right. You don't want to have that happen.
Thank God for
And-
the holy hand grenade.
Was it a rabbit or a hare?
It was a
Yeah,
rabbit.
it might have been a hare, I don't
Bunnies.
know.
It was bunnies.
Those
Bunny
hares
holes.
will kick the shit out of you.
Yeah,
And-
fangs.
But there hasn't been a single night where any of us have been like, oh yeah, well let's go to that club.
Yeah, no.
No way, because we've had very full days.
Right.
So
By the time 8 o'clock rolls in, I'm like, is it bedtime?
right, it's like, can we go to sleep now?
I mean, you guys have only spoke cursive once the entire week.
Oh my god. Well,
Barely.
it's been one of those things where despite being in a place where drinking is a drinking and you're drinking, you're also driving cars where I'm pretty sure on this particular part of the planet, if you are caught drink driving, they just run you from the yard arm. Like they shoot you out of the cannon. There has to be some very Norse or Celtic way that they dispatch drunk drivers.
Right.
That has to be enough that everybody out here is like,
Well,
no, I'm in the car. I'm
well, how
not.
about this?
I'm not driving.
I give you
Yeah.
and you
Yeah.
and you credit for driving in this fucking mess because the whole left side
It's
thing.
not a mess. It's how the
it's
whole
not a mess.
country
It's
works.
not a mess, but like, okay,
It's crazy.
I
It makes
get,
a
the,
lot
I
of
get the
sense.
driving. Like, I don't
Right.
mind this. I can
Yeah.
do that. I can drive the car, whatever. And 90% of the time, after one day, you totally get used to being on the wrong side of the, or the right
Sure.
side, whatever you want to call it.
Correct.
Right? Left side of the road.
Left side of the
But there
Yeah.
have been several times when I'm
Yeah.
navigating with you, and you come up, and you handled it so well, but I was freaking the fuck out. You come up, and there's 4 streets and a traffic circle, and everything's on the wrong side. And like, who gets the right of way? Who doesn't get the right of way? There's cars. There's a fucking truck coming this way, and you're like, I have the right of way, and
The
somehow it
periwinkle
all,
placenta always has the right of way.
it apparently does. But I was very impressed with the fact that you figured all that shit out, because I was like, this is because coming from America, it's not hard to drive on the road.
Correct.
It's hard to go into a parking lot. It's hard to go into a traffic circle when there's other roads and everything's the wrong way coming into things.
Your neck is wired to look to the left.
Yeah.
And if you look to the left here, you'll die.
Yeah.
Sleepy, in England, there are 5-lane wide traffic circles.
Nope.
These are called mini roundabouts.
Oh, yeah.
These things that we're doing are mini roundabouts.
Yeah.
So you can kind of almost go.
You can straight
You
shot
can
most
pretty
of
much
them.
straight shot
Yeah,
most
but
of them.
like today when we were coming back, there was some decent traffic.
Yeah.
And there were cars coming at not a small clip.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, I hope he's right. And sure enough, you were. But I was like, okay. Because I was facing the car coming at me, so I was a little
Yeah.
concerned.
I
I
did-
mean, you don't have the wrong side thing, but driving
Right.
in Paris is a special kind of.
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
Well, in this situation, I did make this mistake twice today. Was I kicked the Kia in the guts,
Yeah.
and it was like.
Second year.
Have you seen me? Have you seen me?
Yeah.
I don't do that.
The gerbil is tired.
Right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. I smashed the gas, dropped the clutch, and it went. I'll be stalling now.
Well, think about it. If
It's
it
just like-
had, if
and
it
it
had
stalled
air
on a full
conditioning,
drop,
it
like-
wouldn't have moved.
Oh God.
Right, yeah. You get one, go power or air conditioning clutch power.
They're like, if you'd like to use the air conditioning, please pull to the side of the road and enjoy the cool air.
Yeah.
How underpowered is your car? The mirrors are manual.
Yeah.
Right.
We can't afford the voltage.
Right. We can't afford the
The
voltage.
amperage will kill us.
No, wait, is that a crank for rear window? No, that's the blower for the defroster.
For the defroster. Yeah, it is Kia. If you're listening, it's a shit car.
Yeah.
It's really
If that car costs over $6,900 new, you're getting ripped
has-
the fuck off.
It has
The
more
back
room.
seat's got more room in
The
it
back
than
seat
than
in
the
it-
Honda.
The back seat and the
Or
trunk in it have
yeah,
more
the
room
Toyota,
than the Toyota Aygo.
Well,
Yeah.
your clown car, we saw you guys driving down the road. We're like, how in the fuck did they all get in there?
Oh, it's way roomier.
There was overlapping thighs.
We,
Right.
we might have done 5 in the Ego the first
We did.
night.
We did. Right. We did.
Oh, I'm aware.
Well,
Well,
we
we
went-
went the wrong way around the roundabout.
Right. We went 5 deep in the Aygo on the first night, and we went to the Piggly Wiggly.
And
So,
we bought Costco sized groceries.
We did.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, we
Oh, yeah, I
Tetris
forgot
the
about
shit out of it. Like, I feel like we've done our job as being American tourists in other countries, both by being excessively loud at all times, and then also spending metric shit tons of money to buy like cool, fun stuff and like kind of do the thing, hold things up as Americans. But also, we've been like adaptive to the culture and to the driving and like the local stuff.
I will say, we did get to the point where one Tesco cart was insufficiently sized for our grocery order.
Yes,
But that's the thing.
exactly.
I was gonna say, like, if
Right.
you, and I don't want to get to this deep now or anything like that, but like, for people that have never done this or you're thinking about doing it, you can get into this fairly inexpensively for this kind of a trip.
Right.
And especially if you do things like, instead of going out to eat all the time,
Right.
like, we bought these
Yeah, we
groceries and we
groceries,
still have
yeah.
groceries.
We still
and
have
we've been
groceries
eating
from the first
great.
trip. Right.
You take sandwiches out to the
Right.
thing, now you're avoiding all the stuff. It's just good. It's
Yeah.
smooth.
I will say this. We have been spoiled shitless by our landlady who's made us fresh muffins and fresh bread for breakfast every morning we've been here.
We don't have that.
We need a landlady.
We have that.
Yeah.
I've been freshly clogged.
We have
with
a
the toilet
backyard with
every
all the
morning.
apples we eat. Yeah, there's a really nice Granny Smith apple tree in our backyard.
Mhm.
The backyard of this house is splendid. It's
Well, we
way-
thought it was somebody else's backyard.
We did.
until
I
you
thought it was
realized
somebody
our
else's backyard. due to weird.
There's a road that goes between the house and
It's
our
a
yard.
very
Just
weird.
past the.
They call it a lane.
Yeah, a
Yeah,
lane.
it's a weird
A
civic.
lane.
It's a weird civic lesson how somehow that our backyard can be our backyard and not 17 other houses' backyards.
right.
Because all the other houses that touch that backyard are getting ripped off right now.
100%.
They're like, because they have a better right to that being their backyard than this house had.
Yeah, it's behind the garage.
Right.
That's behind the garage.
Exactly. Yeah. And we have a shed here, and we also have another shed out there.
Yeah.
So we
Well,
have
this
a shed
one
and a
has
shed in the
bodies
garage.
in it,
Yeah.
though. That one has his stuff.
This guy's pretty. Whoever the gentleman that runs this house, he's doing pretty good.
He's got a pretty good
For the
setup.
Isle of Man, he's got a pretty good setup, and there's a Honda ADV scooter in the garage as well
Yeah, no
that we
kidding.
haven't even tried to molest
No,
or
not yet.
do anything mean to.
Yeah.
Right, scooter rally, right? I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, not this time.
Right.
Yeah, I bet you didn't even check the odometer before he left.
That's true. Well, no, if Ferris Bueller's taught us anything, you just run it backwards.
Hot
Well, just
Hot lap on the ADV 160.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool. So if you're listening to this and you want to do it, this won't be the last time we do it. We're already making plans. As my wife told me, she goes, well, you know, when you went last time, we did bicycles, mistake, don't do that, and buses, which is fine. We did great. And then we went from bicycles and buses, we went to the rental car.
An electric trace.
Yeah.
I'll say this.
Yeah.
I know
Right.
it seems like you
Yeah.
want to rent a motorcycle.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, I want to rent. You
Yeah.
don't really need to.
That
And like,
might be our next step, though.
That's-
Might be motorcycles acquired somewhere not here, because
Right.
our roommate in 19 did rent a motorcycle here, and he picked up a Triumph 600 here, and the day, I think it was the day he got it or the day after he got it, it revealed to him that it had a bad head gasket.
Yeah.
Oh.
And
Overheated.
so it
Yeah.
overheated strong before he even got it to 15 minutes here from the airport. And so he said, hi, to their voicemail. The motorcycle you have rented me for $390 per day has no fluid in it.
to exist.
Right. It is now just a device that puts smoke into the air.
Right.
And would you be so kind as to bring me another? And apparently, after them not calling him back and them calling him like 4 times the next day and finally getting a human there, he said, you know, I pay $390 a day for the next 9 days. That's a $4,000 rental if you're paying attention. Will you bring me another one? Because that could have bought the fucking bike he was on.
Yeah.
I saw it. It wasn't top of the range.
Obviously, blew the
And
head gasket.
right, blown head gasket already. Will you bring me another one? They said no.
Wow.
We don't have one.
We don't have one.
They're all rented.
They're booked out. And you know, we had to pick up 6 other ones with blown head gaskets.
Yep.
And so they couldn't even get them picked up, and it took them 2 or 3 days to end up on another bike. And so he went 2 or 3 days of not being able to ride because they just didn't have anything to give him.
And it was raining half of the
And
time.
Pouring. So every time he rode, he was riding the
Yeah.
you know, sideways
So
rain.
you'd have to bring gear. You'd have to bring rain
It's-
gear.
right.
You'd have to
that's
bring,
the
that's
other
a
part.
lot of stuff.
It's a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
So
When you
I'll
ride the
make
rainforest,
this point.
you
Yeah.
gotta
Yeah.
get wet.
Whether side, and this point actually comes courtesy of Chris Peters,
Mhm.
who has been to 25 or 26
Sure.
TTs.
Right.
This is the 26th.
And the
Yeah.
Manx GP, so 2
Yeah.
separate events
Right.
for those listening. But he said this is the one that he will come back to again.
agreed.
He will not be coming to the TT,
The TT,
next year,
right.
because it's Americanizing. It's becoming very corporate,
It's blown out.
and
Yeah,
it's
so
gotten,
but you
gotten
guys don't want to come
ridiculous.
to this. We're not trying to promote this because we wanted to keep it
Keep it
small.
special.
That's right.
But
Yeah,
a
yeah.
lot of the things that we're commenting on
Right.
are special to this event
And
this
that's true.
place.
And I will
this
come.
place.
I will come back for the classic, but I probably will never. I'm glad we did it. I'm
Yeah,
glad we
yeah,
can
yeah.
check our list and say 2019 we did it. You know, year before COVID, while the old grandstand was still up, while the old
I mean,
scoreboard was
honestly,
still
I
up.
think as much as like
You know.
I kind of want to see the TT, understanding how much pain in the ass you guys had and how much freedom and excitement, like, and
Mhm.
how little pain in the ass we've had.
Right.
I might make the same.
And maybe doing a
decisions.
TT trip would be the right time to do a 4-day trip where you're flying in on a Tuesday and flying out on a Saturday.
Sure.
So you're getting a smaller dose of it, and maybe you do have to scratch deeper to get that hotel room. But the people, I'm going to tell you, you will have a life-changing experience when it comes to homestay. Like figuring out their homestay system. Marshall, I know you've gone through it. I've gone through it a couple of times. Like
We did it.
it is very much like, okay, you almost have to learn the code. We have a bed, we have a house that sleeps 6, or we can sleep 2. Well, is that the whole damned house, or is that a room in the house that sleeps 2, or can it sleep 2 and also have 7 couches?
Are you going to be here with us?
Right? Are you going to be here with us? That's right. The other thing would be, okay, are you going to be here for days 1 through 4, days 4 through 7, days 7 through 9? We only lease our spot out for 9 days, or if it's less than 4 days, go piss up a rope,
Yep.
right? And we have this, we have that. It's not catered, it is catered. It's this, it's that, the other thing. Every single one of us, are you still 2 up, or did you get your own bed?
Here?
Yeah, here.
Yeah, Dad and I are 2 up.
You're 2 up. But this is a 7-foot couch.
Yeah.
That's a 7-foot couch. I have a 6-foot couch in my room.
Yep.
I'm sleeping on a child's futon with 2 broken slats, but I don't care. It's better than nothing. But like in this room, in this building, we could easily throw another 3 bodies.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Easy.
And
It's big enough.
and the place that we were in, they originally told us that spot was for 5.
5.
And then once we got there and we looked inside, we were like, oh, we could have done
You
7.
mean 10. Yeah,
Right, we could have done 7 or 10 based on couch space or whatever. And that's an interesting thing if you're considering coming here, is like once you discover you cannot just call the freaking Hampton and say I need a room, because they don't have hotels.
Yeah.
They don't. They have hotels. And in some of the hotels, you have to be out of your hotel room by 9 a.m. and you're not welcome back into your hotel room until after 4 or after 5 p.m. So it's leave, get the fuck out of here, and then we'll see you back here after 4.
Wow.
And a lot of the smaller, older hotels operate that way. So it's a weird, it is not going to Vegas.
No.
It is not going to LA. It is not going to the camp that you normally go to when you book that Air B&B at Tahoe. This is different. It's a weird vibe for people that aren't used to traveling here.
Right.
Yeah. And it's funny. But when you do get a good landlord, they're like, I'm like, hey, we're going to book this for 2 years from now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck
And
yeah.
that's the thing
I
you
would
can
stay
do.
here in a heartbeat.
That's
Well,
the thing you can do.
You've hit it on the head.
Yeah.
To have fun, to really enjoy this place, you have to get outside yourself.
Right.
Well,
you
and
do.
think about this too. Like we have definitely taken care of this place. You know what I mean? When we leave here, it's going to be just like we got it, right?
Right.
So for this landlord, if we say, "Hey, in 2 years you want to come back," well, he knows he has a party that
Right.
respects his shit. So why not say,
Our
"Yeah, let's
landlord
take
in
that,
19 said, if you're planning on coming back, I will love to have you. And if you don't, if you book me now, or here's my phone number,
Mhm.
I'll cut your price by 20% if you don't go through the booking agencies and stuff like that.
Sure.
We just do cash.
Yeah.
And he's a legit dude. So, that's the thing too that you should be aware of, is that your first stay may not be your last stay.
Right.
A lot of people, from what I've read, they've been going to the same homestay for 20 years.
The
But
gentleman
they
that I
decided-
talked to today, who's been here for 50 years, coming back from Germany for 50 years. And what did he tell me today? He said, we call you guys bucket listers. You're here for the first time because it's your bucket list. And then magically, we see you again in 2 years, or 3 years, or 4 years. And he goes, you're called bucket listers. You came here you came here as a bucket list item 52 years ago, and you've been coming back every other year ever since. So I can understand. It is a very, very attractive thing to people who are certain motorcycle people.
Well, we did pretty good. Our 15-minute recap turned into a 2-hour podcast.
That's how we do.
Yeah.
I know.
That's how we do.
That's fucking amazing.
If you're gonna bother downloading or listening to us, we want to give you your full.
100%.
When it's worth.
We want to give you both barrels, as they
If you're,
say.
if you're dissatisfied,
Well,
Go
please.
fuck your
we'll
head.
give you
Contact us.
every dollar you spent to download it from Spotify back.
Right, contact us. That's right, and I'll put you in touch with our complaint hat,
Yeah.
and you can fuck it.
Yeah.
Right, that's it.
Or you
Motorcycles
can
and
call
Misfits.
Right.
Liza Miller,
Motorcycles
world
and
record
Misfits.
holder at Motorcycles and
All
Misfits.
complaints
at
should be addressed
gmail.com.
to
Liza.
world record holder, motorcycles and misfits at gmail.com. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it's been a blast, guys. So thank you very much. Ride fast and take chances. Play us out here, Johnny.
Right fast, take chances.